Feel the day beginning to loosen its grip. Whatever has followed you into this night, the half-finished conversations, the unanswered messages, the quiet, heavy questions, can pause here at the threshold of this moment. You are not required to solve anything right now. You are not required to be anyone in particular. For a little while, you are simply a human being breathing in the dark. Around you, the world is slowly dimming. Screens fade to black. Corridors grow quieter. Somewhere outside, a road that buzzed with motion has become only a soft suggestion of distant tires, a low and fading murmur. The hum of night, the breath between thoughts, begins to gather around you like a gentle shawl. Notice how your attention has been scattered through the day, pulled in 1,000 directions. Pieces of you left in different rooms, in different tabs, inside other people's opinions. You have been planning, reacting, remembering, anticipating. It is no wonder the mind feels busy, even here, even now. For so many hours, your awareness was stretched across tasks and expectations. Tonight, we are doing something different. For these next minutes, you do not have to follow every thought that appears. You do not have to chase the mind as it runs ahead or turns back to replay what has already happened. Instead, you are invited to gather yourself gently, as if you are collecting soft feathers drifting through the air and letting them rest in your open hands. If you can, allow your eyes to close or soften your gaze on a single point. Feel the faint hum of night in the background, distant and constant, like a quiet reassurance that the world can continue turning without your effort. Your breath is here, a small, steady rhythm. Notice how it moves without being told. The in-breath arrives, cool and quiet. The out-breath leaves, a little warmer, a little softer. There is nothing for you to manage. Breathing is happening, all on its own, like waves rising and falling on a shore that never needs to be in control of the ocean. Slowly, the body begins to understand that the day is over. Muscles that have held you upright, alert, ready, start to release. The shoulders soften their hold. The jaw lets go of what it has been silently gripping. The hands, perhaps, begin to unclench, fingers resting more loosely on the sheets or folded gently by your side. If thoughts arrive, that is all right. They do not have to disappear. Imagine them like small shapes drifting across a darkening sky, passing clouds, not problems to be fixed. You can see them, and at the same time, you can feel something quieter beneath them. A sense of being here, a sense of lying in one place, in this one room, in this one moment of your life. Let yourself be received by the night just as you are, without performance, without effort. The distant ambience, the soft sounds that rise and fall around you are reminders that life continues in its own time. You are allowed to rest inside that ongoingness. Lean back into the vast, patient stillness that holds everything, including you. This is the beginning of your descent from doing into being, from movement into rest. For now, nothing more is needed than this: the gentle dark, the soft hum of night, and your own quiet, breathing presence. Between one thought and the next, there is a small, quiet space. Most of the time, we move so quickly that we skip over it, stepping from one idea to another like stones across a stream. But now, here, in the softness of night, we will slow down enough to feel that gentle space, to rest inside it. The doorway into that space is simple: your own breathing. Somewhere beneath the stream of thoughts, the breath is moving. You do not have to create it. You do not have to guide it perfectly. Just begin by noticing that it is there, a subtle swell and fade, like slow waves on a shore you've known for a very long time. Feel the next in-breath as it arrives. You might notice the coolness at the tip of your nose, or the way your chest lifts ever so slightly. You might feel your belly expand, a quiet, rounded softening. There is nothing dramatic, nothing forced, just a small wave coming in, and then the out-breath, the gentle release, the air leaving the body in its own time, without hurry, without effort. The wave returning, sliding back into the wider ocean, in and out, in and out. A steady, tender rhythm beneath all the thinking. Your mind may still be busy. It may want to pull you back into planning, into replaying, into wondering. That is natural. When a thought appears, you do not have to push it away. Simply notice it, like a shape floating on the surface of water, and then feel underneath it the swell and fade of your breathing. Each time you remember the breath, you are stepping through a doorway. You are choosing gently to move from thinking into sensing. Sensing is quieter, simpler. It does not ask you to judge or to decide. It asks only that you feel. Feel the weight of your body where it rests, the contact with the bed or the mattress, the pillow supporting your head. Notice how the breath subtly rocks you almost imperceptibly, like a boat on calm water. With every inhalation, a faint rise. With every exhalation, a faint settling. Now, allow your focus to narrow just a little more, resting softly at the point where the breath is most obvious for you. It might be the chest, the belly, the nostrils. Wherever it is, let your attention hover there, like a warm hand resting over that place. You do not have to concentrate hard. You are simply keeping company with your own breathing. In this gentle attending, something begins to happen. The edges of your thoughts grow softer. The sentences in your mind become slower, less insistent. The spaces between thoughts expand just a little. Like a shoreline at low tide, more quiet sand appears, more stillness is revealed. Listen, if you like, to the subtle swell and fade in the background, like slow waves, sound rising and falling almost in time with your own breathing. You might imagine your body as a small bay held and cradled by this vast, rhythmic ocean of night. Thoughts will still come. They are allowed. But the breath is always here, just beneath them, steady and patient. Each time you rest your attention on that soft wave of in and out, you are stepping again through the doorway, back into the simple truth of this moment. And in that simple truth, you may begin to notice a new kind of quiet. Not the silence of nothingness, but a living stillness. A quiet that breathes with you. A quiet that holds your thoughts without being disturbed by them. A quiet that is never far away, waiting gently in the breath between thoughts. We use the word stillness, and often the mind imagines a blank space. Maybe you picture an empty room, bare walls, nothing moving, nothing happening. A place where all sound has been removed, all color drained away. To a busy, tired mind, that can feel a little frightening, like being asked to step into a void. But the stillness we are exploring together tonight is not a dead, empty space. It is something quietly, gently alive. Notice, even now as you lie here, how much is actually present in this so-called quiet. There is the subtle sound of your own breathing. There might be the soft hum of a distant appliance, the faint whisper of air moving in the room. the barely there vibration of the world outside. Within your body, there is a whole universe of activity. The pulse in your chest, the warmth of your skin, the gentle weight of your limbs. This is not nothing. This is fullness. Stillness, in this sense, is not the absence of life, but the background that allows life to be felt more clearly. It is like the night sky behind the stars. On its own, the dark might seem like a kind of emptiness, but without it, the stars would have nowhere to shine. Stillness is that soft, vast backdrop, the space in which every sensation, every thought, every emotion appears. You might notice that when things become quiet around you, the mind often becomes louder. Old worries step forward. Memories, plans, little unfinished fragments of conversation all start to circle. It can seem as if silence has revealed a chaos inside. But beneath that movement, there is also a simple awareness noticing it all. That awareness is not noisy. It is open, spacious, quietly watching. This is where stillness lives. Take a moment now to sense that. You are aware of sounds. You are aware of the feeling of the bed beneath you, the temperature of the air on your skin, the slow rhythm of your breathing. Thoughts may be moving, but you are also aware of them. Like waves moving across the surface of a deep lake, they come and go. The lake itself remains. This awareness doesn't judge what appears in it. It doesn't say, this thought is welcome, that one is not. It simply allows. In this allowing, there is a kind of deep, forgiving fullness. Everything that arises, tension, tiredness, hope, fear, is held in a gentle arms of this quiet presence. So when we speak of stillness, we are not asking you to push anything away or to scrub the mind clean of all activity. We are inviting you to relax back into the part of you that is already still, the part that is simply here, simply aware, without needing to fix or improve any of this experience. If you look closely, you may feel a soft recognition. Ah, this has always been here. Even in busy days, even in moments of stress, there have been brief pauses between one breath and the next, between one task and another, where you touch this quiet without naming it. Now, as the night deepens, you are giving yourself permission to rest in it more fully. Let that bring a sense of ease. There's nothing to build, nothing to achieve. Stillness is not a distant goal. It is the gentle fullness of this very moment, exactly as it is, held in the soft, spacious light of your awareness. The rush of mornings, alarms and messages, the changing faces, the shifting roles you play. Inside too, there is movement. Thoughts tumbling over one another, feelings rising and fading, sensations appearing and disappearing in the body, like small weather systems passing through. You are used to this motion. It can feel as if this constant change is all there is. But beneath all of that, there is something quietly steady. Begin by noticing the movement that is easiest to feel, the breath. Rising and falling, arriving and leaving, always changing in tiny ways. The length of the inhale, the softness of the exhale, the pauses in between. Now notice that alongside this moving breath, there is also the simple fact that you are aware of it. The breath changes. Awareness does not. Let your attention rest very gently on this awareness itself. It is not a thing you can see or touch. It is more like an open space in which everything is seen and felt. Sounds appear in it. The faintest noises in the room, the distant life of the night outside. Sensations appear in it, the weight of your body, the texture of the sheets, the temperature of the air. Thoughts appear in it, memories, images, fragments of sentences. All of these are moving. The awareness that notices them is still. There is something quietly amazing about this. For a moment, let yourself feel that soft wonder. All day long, experiences flow through you. Happiness, frustration, laughter, boredom, focus, distraction. Each one feels so complete when it is present, as if it defines you. And yet, each one eventually passes. What remains unmoved is the space of knowing, the simple sense of, I am here, noticing. You do not have to force this recognition. Just look gently. A thought appears, perhaps about tomorrow or something that happened today. Who notices it? A feeling stirs, perhaps a little tenderness in the chest or a wave of tiredness. Who knows that it is there? Even the sense of I that feels busy or restless is itself something being noticed. Behind it, beneath it, there is a quieter presence that does not come and go. Imagine sitting beside a river at night. The water flows on and on, carrying leaves, reflections of lights, ripples and eddies. The surface is always changing, but you, sitting on the bank, remain still. You can watch the flow without needing to stop it. You can feel the movement and yet not be pulled away. This is what awareness is like, the still observer at the edge of the river of experience. As you lie here, you can allow everything to continue moving. The thoughts do not have to stop. The breath does not need to be controlled. Emotions do not have to be perfectly calm. Your only invitation is to rest a little more in the one who is watching, the one who is simply here, silently aware, like a clear sky holding all kinds of weather. Notice how, as you lean into this witnessing presence, something in you begins to settle. There is less urgency to follow every thought, less pressure to fix every feeling. You begin to realize, I am not only what is happening, I am also the space in which it is happening. In that realization, a gentle peace appears, not because the world has stopped moving, but because you have touched the stillness beneath its motion. Let yourself sink into that stillness now, like resting into a soft, supportive bed that has been here all along. The river can keep flowing, the sky remains vast and quiet, and you, as this quiet awareness, can settle deeper and deeper into the unchanging witness that you truly are. Imagine for a moment the softest chime. You hear it ring once, clear, delicate, and then slowly, gently, the sound fades back into silence. The note appears, shimmers in the air, and disappears. But the silence that receives it was there before the sound and remains after it's gone. The silence is not disturbed by the note. It holds it, allows it, and then welcomes it home again. In the same way, stillness is the quiet that holds all things. Every experience in your life is like that chime. A thought arises, bright, insistent, perhaps loud for a while. Then it dissolves. A feeling surges, joy, sadness, worry, hope. It swells. It vibrates through your body and then slowly it subsides. A sensation appears, a pulse, a warmth, a shiver, the gentle heaviness of your limbs as you lie here. Each of these is a sound in the vastness of awareness, a brief note in a much larger, quieter space. Notice this as you breathe. The in-breath is a kind of chime, arriving in the stillness. It fills the chest, expands the belly, touches the edges of your awareness. Then the out-breath is the fading note, a long, slow exhale returning into quiet. Between breaths, beneath breaths, there is a deeper silence, steady, patient, unbroken. Now sense the room around you. There may be small noises, the faint hum of something electrical, the distant movement of a car, the rustle of fabric as you shift slightly. Each sound appears and then falls away. But the space of the room, the silent air that carries these sounds, remains. It does not shrink or grow depending on what passes through it. It simply holds. This is how stillness lives in you. It is the spaciousness of your own awareness, a quiet container that can hold every thought, every emotion, every sensation without being damaged or diminished by any of them. Even your restlessness is held, even your longing for sleep, even your doubts and fears. They are movements inside a wider, gentler presence. You do not have to create this container. You do not have to make yourself more spacious or more spiritual or more calm. The space is already here. You can feel it whenever you notice that, alongside whatever is happening, there is also the simple knowing of it. That knowing is open. It makes room for everything. Perhaps tonight there has been tension. Perhaps your mind has been busy, circling the same worries, replaying the same scenes. Let all of that be as it is, and instead, feel what is holding it. As if you are stepping back just a little to sense the quiet background in which all this movement is unfolding. That quiet does not argue. It does not complain. It just allows. Imagine now that your whole body is floating in this stillness. Every muscle, every thought, every feeling is gently cradled in a vast, invisible pair of hands. You do not have to organize your experience. You do not have to push anything away or cling to anything precious. The quiet that holds all things is holding you too. Like the soft chime that rings and fades into silence, each moment of your life is welcomed into this deep, accepting space. And as you rest here, in the dark, you are invited to trust that you are already held by a stillness far bigger than any single thought, any single feeling, or any single night. There is a kind of weight you carry that no one else can see. From the outside, you might look perfectly fine, smiling at the right moments, answering messages, showing up the way you're expected to. But inside, your body has been quietly collecting the small pressures of the day, the week, the month, each unfinished task, each tiny disappointment, each moment of holding yourself together adds up, slowly, subtly, like grains of sand gathering in a hidden corner. Right now, as you lie here, some of that invisible tension is still with you. You might feel it in your shoulders, lifted just a little higher than they need to be. Or in your neck, where the muscles have learned to stay on guard. Maybe it's in your jaw, gently clenched, or in your chest, where the breath feels a bit shallow, as if it has forgotten how to travel all the way down. Sometimes it shows up as restlessness in the legs, or a tightness around the eyes, or a quiet ache in the lower back. Stress rarely arrives as a single dramatic event. More often, it seeps in slowly, holding your breath in a difficult conversation, tightening your stomach when you read a message that worries you, hunching over a screen for hours, forgetting that you have a body at all. Each moment seems small, almost nothing, but the body remembers. It keeps a record of how often it had to brace, how often it had to be on. Take a gentle, curious breath now. As you inhale, simply notice. Where does your body feel most guarded? You do not need to change anything yet. Just recognize the places that have been working quietly in the background to keep you moving, to keep you functioning in a world that asks so much. This recognition is already the beginning of release. Because when you see how much effort you've been carrying, you may also feel a flicker of tenderness toward yourself. Of course, you're tired. Of course, it is hard to fall asleep sometimes. Your body has been trying so hard for so long. It makes sense that it doesn't know immediately how to let go. On your next exhale, imagine that you are giving your body permission to soften, even just a little. The shoulders can lower by a fraction. The jaw can loosen just enough for the tongue to rest more comfortably. The hands can uncurl, fingers no longer gripping an invisible handle. You don't have to get it perfect. Release doesn't have to be dramatic. It can come in small waves, a sigh you didn't realize you were holding, a deeper breath that arrives all on its own, a slight melting in the muscles around your eyes. With each softening, however small, the body begins to trust that it is safe enough to rest. Let your awareness move slowly from the top of your head, down through your face, your neck, your shoulders, your chest, your belly, your hips, your legs, all the way to your feet. Everywhere it goes, it carries a simple message. You can put this down now. You do not have to be ready for the next thing. You do not have to protect yourself from what has already passed. For this moment, in this night, the only task is to lie here and allow the invisible tension to loosen its grip. One gentle breath at a time. There's a gentle truth I want to offer you tonight. You don't have to carry everything all the way to morning. As you lie here, the mind may still be holding on to lists and worries, turning them over like stones in the hand. Things you said, things you didn't say, tasks that didn't get finished, questions about tomorrow, and the day after that, and the one after that. The mind believes that if it keeps turning, keeps gripping, it can somehow keep everything safe. But right now, in this quiet room, with this soft, low hum in the background, like a warm, distant presence, you are allowed to set things down. Feel for a moment how much you've been holding. Not only the big, obvious concerns, but the small ones too. Remembering to reply, to show up, to be kind, to be strong, to be composed. You have been balancing so many invisible threads. No wonder the body is tired. No wonder the heart longs for rest. Tonight, you don't need to solve it all. You don't need to rehearse every conversation or plan every detail of the future. The night is not asking you to be productive. It is simply offering you a place to lay your burdens down, one by one, like putting down bags after a long journey. If it feels okay, imagine that beside your bed, or at the foot of it, there is a wide, open basket. Into this basket, you can place anything that feels heavy. You can place unfinished tasks there. You can place worries about what others might think. You can place the constant, quiet pressure to be better, to be more organized, more successful, more in control. You can whisper to each burden as you set it down. Not tonight. Tonight, I rest. The warm, low sound beneath my words, barely audible, like a soft, steady presence, can be a reminder of something larger holding you. Just as that tone continues without needing your attention, life too continues without your constant effort. The world does not need you to stay awake guarding it. Even if you fall fully asleep, the sun will still rise. The earth will still turn. Email servers would still hum. The grass will still grow somewhere in the dark. You are allowed to step away for a while. Notice your breath again, moving in and out. On the in-breath, you might feel a lingering sense of responsibility, the instinct to manage and control. On the out-breath, you can gently exhale the need to hold everything. Let each exhale be a quiet release. I can rest, I can rest, I can rest. You don't have to hand in a report to the night proving that you've done enough to deserve sleep. You are not being evaluated here. You are simply a human being, alive, breathing, needing restoration. That alone is enough reason to rest. So let the thoughts be like papers on a desk you are closing for the evening. You can return to them later with fresher eyes and a softer mind. For now, feel the bed holding your weight. Feel the subtle vibrations of that warm, low sound beneath you. And let it all be a lullaby, reminding you, you don't need to hold everything tonight. You are allowed to let go. Let's begin with something very simple. A single, soft breath. Feel the next inhale arrive just as it always does. Quiet, unforced. And then feel the exhale, a gentle release, a small letting go. You don't have to change your breathing. You're only noticing it as if you are sitting beside a friend, keeping them company as they rest. Now, imagine that the mind is like a pair of tired hands. All day, these hands have been gripping thoughts, responsibilities, memories, plans. They have been holding on to what if, and I should, and I must not forget. Even now, in the dark, they may still be clutching invisible objects, mental to-do lists, emotional knots, questions with no immediate answers. For a moment, picture those hands in front of you. Maybe they are your hands. Maybe they are simply symbolic. See how tightly they are holding on. Notice the strain in the fingers, the tension in the joints, the fatigue in the wrists. There is no judgment here, only a gentle recognition of how hard your mind has been working to keep everything together. On your next exhale, imagine those hands loosening just a little. They don't drop anything yet. They simply soften the grip. The objects they're holding, those thoughts and worries, become a bit lighter, a bit less solid. Another breath in, and as you exhale, the fingers uncurl a little more. The mind's burden is no longer welded to you. It is something you can hold loosely. Now, imagine a soft, safe surface in front of you. A table, a cushion, a patch of warm ground. One by one, you begin to set things down. First, place today's events there. Everything that happened, everything that didn't. You don't need to sort them into good or bad. Just lay them gently on this surface, like placing stones in a line. Feel the weight leaving your hands, leaving your mind. Next, place tomorrow's concerns there. All the tasks, conversations, and possibilities that have been tugging at your attention. You are not throwing them away. You are simply putting them somewhere they can rest until morning. With each imagined movement, each time you set something down, feel a corresponding softening in your body, in your shoulders, your chest, your forehead. If an anxious thought insists on staying, you can acknowledge it softly. I see you. You're worried. For now, you can rest here too, and you place it down with the others. Everything is welcome on this surface. Nothing needs to be resolved in this moment. Now turn your attention back to the breath. Notice how, with a little less to hold, the mind feels slightly more spacious. Inhale, feeling the air fill your chest. your belly. Exhale, imagining any remaining tightness draining out, like water flowing gently from an overfull cup. If you like, you can silently repeat a phrase with each out-breath, setting it down, letting it go. Not tonight. Sense the bed beneath you, strong and steady, carrying your weight so you don't have to. The room holds you. The darkness holds you. You are not alone with your burdens. They are resting now, outside the mind, on that safe surface you created. Your hands, those symbolic hands of the mind, are empty for a while. They can relax, open, become soft and warm. There is nothing they have to grip in this moment, nothing they have to fix. Stay here for a few breaths, feeling what it's like to exist with just this. Your body supported, your breath flowing, your mind a little lighter. The burdens are nearby, but they are no longer pressing against your heart. You have set them down for the night, and in their place, there is room for quiet, for stillness, for sleep. When the mind is tired, it tries to find stability in thoughts. It repeats the same worries, revisits the same memories, rehearses the same plans, as if thinking hard enough could build solid ground beneath your feet. But thoughts are made of movement. They shift, they twist, they vanish and reappear in new forms. They cannot offer the kind of steady foundation you are longing for tonight. Your breath can. Right now, as you lie here, your breathing is quietly creating a structure, a soft architecture inside your body. It is not made of bricks or steel, but of rhythm, of gentle, repeating waves, of the simple, reliable fact that with every passing moment, air is coming in and air is going out. Take a moment to notice this rhythm. Feel the in-breath as it begins. There's a subtle gathering, a sense of drawing in. The chest expands, the ribs gently widen, the belly may lift. Then the out-breath, arriving all on its own, like a slow inward folding. The body softens, the chest settles, the belly releases. Inhale, exhale, rising, falling, opening, resting. No matter what has happened today, this rhythm has never left you. It has been with you in conversations, in moments of stress, in brief flashes of joy. Even when you were not aware of it, the breath was quietly building this invisible architecture of support, holding you up from the inside. Let yourself lean into it now. You don't have to change your breathing. You don't need to make it deeper or slower, unless it does that on its own. Simply rest your attention on the feeling of breath moving through you. Notice its dependable pattern, like the slow swing of a pendulum, like the gentle rocking of a cradle in a darkened room. Each inhalation is a small arrival. I am here. Each exhalation is a small surrender. I can let go. As you continue to notice this, the breath becomes more than a biological function. It becomes a kind of anchor. Whenever the mind starts to drift away into tomorrow, into yesterday, into imagined conversations, you can return to this soft architecture. It is always in the same place. It does not argue with your thoughts. It simply waits, steady and kind. You might picture your breath as a glowing thread running through the center of your body, from the base of your spine to the crown of your head. With every inhale, the thread brightens just a little. With every exhale, it gently dims, remaining present, never fully disappearing. This thread is your inner stability, a quiet axis around which everything else can move. Sound, sensation, thought, emotion, they all come and go, circling this central rhythm. The breath does not need them to be orderly. It does not ask the mind to be quiet before it does its work. It continues faithfully, like a calm heartbeat of the present moment. If your attention wanders, that's all right. When you notice it, simply guide it back again and again to the rising and falling of your breath. Each return is like stepping back onto solid ground after having wandered through shifting sand. In this way, the breath becomes a home, not a place you must build from scratch, but a place that has always been waiting for you to notice it. A soft architecture of rhythm and stability, standing quietly in the dark, ready to hold you while you rest and keep holding you as you drift towards sleep. Your body is a quiet map of everywhere you've been today, every place you sat or stood, every emotion that passed through you, every thought that asked your muscles to tense or your heart to beat a little faster. It's all been recorded here in subtle traces beneath your skin. Tonight, we are not trying to erase that map. We are simply going to walk through it with kindness from the crown of your head all the way down to your toes, and invite everything to soften. Begin at the very top of your head. Gently place your attention there, as if you are resting a warm, soft hand on your scalp. Notice any sensations, perhaps a light tingling, a faint sense of temperature, or nothing obvious at all. There is no right way for it to feel. Just acknowledge this place, the crown of your head, and on an exhale, imagine a subtle melting, a tiny release. Now let your awareness drift down to your forehead. Feel the skin there, the space between your eyebrows. This area works hard to show your concern, your concentration, your curiosity. If you like, imagine smoothing your fingers gently across your forehead, not physically, but in your mind. Let the muscles there loosen as if they are letting go of a long-held expression. The space between your eyebrows softens, widening just a little, becoming more open. Move your attention to your eyes. Notice the small muscles around them, the eyelids resting against one another or gently lowered. Your eyes have taken in so much today: light, screens, faces, words. Tell them silently that they can rest now. Feel them sink back just a fraction into their sockets, held safely by the bone and tissue around them. The tiny muscles that focus and refocus all day can slowly unwind. Let your awareness slide down into your cheeks, your jaw, your mouth. Notice if your teeth are touching, if your tongue is pressed against the roof of your mouth. See if you can allow a little space between your teeth, letting the jaw hang a bit heavier. Imagine your tongue resting like a relaxed animal on a warm stone, soft and loose. With every exhale, tension here can drip away like wax melting from a candle. Now move down into your neck and throat. This is the passageway of your voice, your swallowed words, your unspoken feelings. Sense the front of your throat, the sides, the back of your neck. Perhaps there is tightness here from holding your head up, from bending over devices, from leaning into the day. Picture a warm light wrapping around your neck, offering support. As you breathe out, let your head become just a little heavier on the pillow, allowing the neck to be held. Bring your awareness to your shoulders. These are the hooks where you hang so many responsibilities. Notice how they feel. Lifted, rounded, tense, or already releasing. Imagine them gently sliding downward, away from your ears, as if someone has quietly lifted a backpack off your back. Your collarbones can widen, your upper chest can broaden and soften. Let your attention flow down your arms, upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, fingers. Feel the weight of them. Feel how the bed supports them. You do not need to reach for anything now. The hands that type, hold, carry, and comfort can rest, open, and easy. Now move through your chest and upper back, noticing your heart area, your ribs, the gentle rise and fall with each breath. Down into your belly and lower back, where so much emotion is stored. With each exhale, imagine a little more space here, as if the fabric of your body is loosening. Finally, bring awareness into your hips, thighs, knees, calves, ankles, feet, and toes. Feel the length of your legs, the way they are cradled by the surface beneath you. From crown to toes, your whole body is now included in your gentle attention. This is your quiet map for the night, recognized, softened, allowed to be exactly as it is, slowly drifting toward rest. Right now, everything you need to rest is already here, touching you. Not as an idea, not as a plan for tomorrow, but as a soft, living contact with this very moment. The present is not something abstract. It has a texture, a temperature, a quiet weight against your skin. If you listen closely, if you feel carefully, you can sense that the entire night is gently leaning toward you, saying, "You are here. You are safe." You can soften. Begin with the simple feeling of the air. Imagine a gentle night breeze moving through the room, not a strong wind, just a subtle whisper. You may even hear it in the background, the faint suggestion of air shifting softly as if it's brushing past curtains, touching the edges of furniture, skimming over your resting body. Whether the air in your space is truly moving or almost still, your skin can feel its presence, a coolness on your cheeks, a slight difference in temperature on your hands or feet, the tender border where your body meets the world. Let your attention spread out over your skin like a slow, warm light. Notice where the sheets touch you. Perhaps there is a soft weight over your legs, a smoothness against your arms, a gentle pressure beneath your back and shoulders. The bed is holding your shape perfectly. It doesn't ask you to be any different than you are. Every curve, every angle is received. Feel the points of contact, the back of your head on the pillow, the places where your body sinks most deeply into the mattress, the way gravity is quietly drawing you down, inviting you to surrender even more of your weight. There is no need to resist. The earth is doing the holding. You are allowed to simply be held. Now, listen with your skin. Is there a place where the air feels cooler? Perhaps your face, your hands, your feet? Is there a place where warmth gathers, a pocket of heat under the blanket, or along the length of your spine? Let these small differences become interesting, like tiny waves in a very calm sea. You don't have to name them or judge them. Just feel. Here, warmth. Here, a slight coolness. Here, the soft touch of fabric. Here, the open air. As you sense these details, you may notice that your thoughts quietly step back. The mind doesn't disappear, but it moves to the background, like distant conversation in another room. In the foreground, there is this: the gentle night breeze, the tender contact of sheets, the easy weight of your limbs, the subtle expansion and contraction of your chest with each breath. This is the skin of the present moment, thin, delicate, always here, wrapping you in a cloak of simple sensation. If worries try to pull you away, you can return to the skin at any time. come back to the feeling of your body resting, to the quiet textures that do not belong to yesterday or tomorrow. They belong only to now. By placing your attention here, on the softness, the warmth, the faint kiss of air on your skin, you allow stillness to come closer, like a calm night settling gently around a sleeping house. And as you rest inside these sensations, you may begin to feel that stillness is not far away at all. It is touching you all along the surface of your body, breathing with you, holding you moment by moment as you drift slowly towards sleep. Silence seems simple from the outside, just the absence of sound, the pause between words. But when you actually enter it, especially at night, it can feel like stepping into a large dark room where you're suddenly aware of everything you've been avoiding. For many of us, silence is not immediately peaceful. It can be unsettling, even a little frightening, and there is nothing wrong with you if it feels that way. During the day, noise is a kind of protection. Notifications, conversations, music, podcasts, traffic, the constant hum of activity, they all give your mind something to lean on, something to react to. When you are surrounded by sound, your attention is drawn outward. You're busy responding, adjusting, moving from one thing to the next. There is less space to notice what is happening inside. When the noise fades, all of that inner life steps forward. Old worries become louder. Unresolved feelings rise up like shapes in dim light. Thoughts you pushed aside finally have the room to speak. Silence does not create these things. It simply reveals what was already there, waiting patiently beneath the surface of your day. No wonder silence can feel intimidating. The mind often believes that if it keeps moving, it can outrun what hurts. It treats sound and activity like a shield, a way to stay just ahead of discomfort. So when the world grows quiet, a part of you might tense up. What will I have to feel now? What will I see if nothing distracts me? This is a very human response. You are not failing at being calm. You are not bad at meditation or rest. You are simply meeting yourself more clearly, perhaps more clearly than you have had time to in a while. Silence is like a clear mirror. Sometimes what we see reflected there surprises us. There is also another reason we fear silence. It can feel like emptiness. The absence of sound, of conversation, of stimulation can seem like a void, a kind of nothingness where we might disappear, where our roles and identities temporarily dissolve. Who are you when you are not doing, not talking, not performing for anyone, not even for yourself? That question can be unsettling, but it is also deeply important, because beneath the fear, there is a possibility that silence is not empty at all, but full of a different kind of presence. A presence that does not depend on noise or achievement or constant thinking. A presence that is quieter, but more honest. For now, it's enough simply to name the fear. You might whisper inwardly, "Silence feels uncomfortable for me." Or, "Silence makes my thoughts louder, and that scares me a little." This naming is already an act of kindness. It acknowledges that the reaction is there without treating it as something shameful or strange. And then, gently, you can normalize it. Of course, silence feels intense, especially at the end of a long, overstimulating day. Of course, the mind, used to constant input, feels restless when the inputs stop. Of course, the heart, carrying old pains, becomes more noticeable in the quiet. This does not mean silence is bad. It means silence is honest. As you lie here, You don't have to force yourself to love the quiet. You are only invited to soften around your fear of it, to see that fear as another passing visitor in the room. Silence is not here to swallow you. It is here to offer you a deeper kind of rest, one gentle moment at a time, once the initial unease has been seen, understood, and allowed to simply be. Silence, when you stay with it long enough, becomes a kind of honest space. Not honest in the sense of harsh or critical, but honest the way clear water is honest. It simply reflects whatever is placed in it. It doesn't argue. It doesn't explain. It just shows you what is already there. Right now, in the quiet of this night, you are resting in that kind of space. Without the usual noise, without the tug of conversations and screens, you may notice things you usually skim past. Perhaps a tiredness you've been overriding. Perhaps a small sadness you didn't have time to feel. Perhaps a quiet longing for rest, for connection, for a slower pace that has been whispering underneath the rush of the day. Silence does not create these truths. It reveals them. In noise, it is easy to shape yourself to the moment, to be who you think you need to be at work, with friends, with family. You express one part of yourself here, another part there, always adjusting. But in silence, there is no audience. There is no one to impress or reassure. It is just you, with your own experience exactly as it is. That can feel vulnerable. Yet it is also where a deeper kind of honesty becomes possible. As you lie here, listen, not just with your ears, but with your whole being. Notice what arises in the quiet. Maybe there is a thought that keeps returning, a theme your mind circles around when it has nothing else to distract it. Maybe there is a feeling in your chest, a heaviness or a softness that speaks without words. Instead of pushing these away, see if you can let them stand gently in the open space of your awareness. Silence does not demand that you fix anything. It doesn't insist that you make sense of every emotion or resolve every inner conflict. It simply offers a clear background against which you can see what is true for you in this moment. I am tired. I am worried. I am hopeful. I am longing for more ease. Whatever appears, you can meet it with a quiet internal nod. Yes, this is here too. In that acceptance, something begins to soften. The truth, once acknowledged, doesn't have to shout as loudly. When you stop arguing with what you feel, the feeling often relaxes its grip. Silence becomes not a harsh interrogator, but a gentle room where all parts of you are allowed to show up as they are. You might notice that beneath the changing thoughts and emotions, there is an even deeper layer of truth. The simple fact that you are here, alive, breathing. That you have made it through many days and nights before this one. That you are doing your best with the life you have, even when you feel uncertain or overwhelmed. Silence makes room for that recognition too. It reminds you that you are more than your roles, more than your tasks, more than the story your mind tells about who you should be. In the quiet, you can feel a more fundamental truth. I exist. I am aware. I am allowed to rest. This truth does not need to be spoken out loud. It is felt like a steady presence beneath everything else. So as you rest in this honest space, you do not need to search for profound insights. You do not need to force revelations. Instead, you can simply allow what is true in this moment to be seen gently and to be held in the soft, non-judging silence that surrounds you. That in itself is enough. Before we begin, there is going to be a small pause. No words, No instructions, just a brief, deliberate silence, 2 or 3 seconds when nothing in particular happens. And yet, in that nothing, something was happening, wasn't it? Maybe you noticed a sound in your room, the faint hum of an appliance, a distant car, a soft creak in the walls. Maybe you felt more of your body, the way your chest rose and fell, the pressure of the pillow beneath your head. Maybe your thoughts stepped forward, wondering, is this part of it? What am I supposed to notice? Or maybe there was just a sense of openness, like standing in a doorway, looking out into the dark. This is the art of listening to nothing. Listening to nothing does not mean there is truly nothing there. It means listening beyond the obvious. Listening without needing to label, interpret, or fill the space with more sound. It means allowing silence to be not a gap you rush to cover, but a presence you are willing to meet. Right now, let your ears relax. Instead of searching for specific sounds, simply let them come to you. The closest ones first, perhaps your own breathing, a small rustle as you shift slightly. Then the more distant ones, the muffled world outside, almost like a memory of movement rather than movement itself. And then, beyond all of that, what seems like quiet. That quiet is what we often call nothing. But it is actually a wide, open field where everything else appears. When you listen to nothing, you're really listening to that field. You're listening to the space in which sound happens. You're listening to the room itself, the night itself, the vast sense of aroundness that holds you as you lie here. Notice how your mind wants to step in and make sense of this. It might ask, am I doing this right? Is this silence deep enough? Should I hear something spiritual or profound? Let those questions drift by. There is no right way to listen. All that matters is that you are willing to be here, awake to this simple, quiet moment without needing it to be more impressive than it is. If you like, you can imagine that the silence is a kind of soft fabric draped over the world. Every sound that arises is a small movement in that fabric, a gentle ripple, a tiny fold. When the sound fades, the fabric smooths out again. Listening to nothing means feeling the fabric itself, not just the ripples. It means noticing the stillness that remains when each sound has completed its brief life. You might discover, as you stay with this, that the same is true inside you. Thoughts appear, little sounds of the mind. Emotions swell and recede. Inner weather, but beneath them, there is a quiet field of awareness, the same kind of open space that holds everything without effort. Listening to nothing outside gently teaches you how to sense that inner quiet too. So from time to time, we will allow those small pauses, 2 or 3 seconds of intentional silence. You may find them first a little strange, then gradually soothing, like dipping your hand into a still pool. Each pause is an invitation. Can you rest here, in this nothing, and feel how alive it actually is? As you drift towards sleep, you don't need more noise, more words, more stimulation. You need exactly this, the chance to listen to nothing and to discover that in that nothing, you are gently, completely held. There is a moment each day when the world seems to loosen its collar. The sharp edges of daylight soften. The busyness that filled the streets, the bright voices, the demands and deadlines all begin to thin out, like a crowd slowly dispersing after a long performance. You can almost feel it in the air, the collective exhale of a planet that has been holding itself upright for many hours. Imagine the light fading gently, windows that shone with harsh brightness dimmed to softer tones. Office buildings empty out, one small rectangle of light at a time, until only a few remain, like scattered thoughts at the end of a long day. Shops close their doors, metal shutters sliding down with a final quiet certainty. Enough for today. Even the sky seems to relax, trading its demanding blue for the more forgiving shades of dusk, lavender, ember, deep indigo. The world is unwinding. In homes, someone lowers their voice. Another person slips out of shoes that carry them through crowded streets. Curtains are drawn. Screens glow a little dimmer. The sounds of the day, traffic, conversations, construction, footsteps on concrete, fade into something softer, more distant. What remains is the hum of night, a low, steady murmur beneath everything, like the quiet breathing of a sleeping creature. You are part of this unwinding too. Your body, which has spent the day holding itself a certain way, back straight, face alert, hands busy, begins to remember a different rhythm. The shoulders drop a little. The spine finds a more natural curve. The muscles in your face, so used to forming expressions, start to let go of the shapes. The breath, which may have been shallow and quick, lengthens without being asked, like a sigh that has been waiting for permission. If you listen closely, you can sense the whole planet exhaling with you. Far away, oceans move in their ancient rhythm, waves folding and unfolding along darkened shores. Forests settle into their nighttime language, leaves whispering, small creatures rustling in the undergrowth. Cities, even at their busiest, have pockets of calm, quiet side streets, empty parks, rooftops where the noise dissolves into the open sky. Night does not arrive all at once. It unfurls, street by street, room by room, heart by heart. The day lets go of its grip. There are still things left unfinished, messages unsent, ideas half-formed. But night is not interested in completion. It is interested in softening edges, in blurring the hard lines of urgency, in reminding you that life continues quietly, even when you are not pushing it forward. As you lie here, you are lying inside that vast unwinding. The hum you might hear, the faint distant traffic, a quiet appliance, the soft rush of air, is like the world's background breathing. Above you, the sky stretches, a dark, gentle ceiling. Around you, the walls of your room hold a small pocket of safety. Inside you, your breath rises and falls, synchronizing with the slower rhythm of the night. You don't have to do anything to join this exhale. You are already part of it, simply by being here, simply by allowing yourself to rest. The day has done what it could. The night is here to do something different, to cradle, to cool, to wrap you in shadow and silence and the soft reassurance that not everything needs to be solved before you sleep. Let the images of the day grow dim, like city lights seen from far away. Let the world gently unwind around you and within you, until all that is left is this quiet hum, this slow breathing of the night, and your own body, finally allowed to loosen, to lengthen, to drift. If you listen carefully, you'll notice that the night is not truly silent. Underneath the quiet, there is a delicate music, soft enough that you could miss it if you rushed by, but rich and layered once you begin to pay attention. Imagine somewhere just beyond your walls, the gentle chorus of crickets, the tiny voices stitching a steady pattern through the dark. A faint rustle of leaves, the distant hum of a late car passing, then fading. Soft nocturnal textures, barely there, like threads of sound woven into a vast dark cloth. This is the subtle symphony of stillness. It is not loud or dramatic. It does not demand your attention. Instead, it invites you gently to lean in, not with effort, but with curiosity. As you lie here, imagine your hearing becoming a little more sensitive, a little more open, like the iris of a camera widening to let in more light. Except now, it's letting in the fine details of sound. Perhaps you hear the faintest background buzz of your space, an appliance breathing quietly in the corner, the soft whisper of air through a vent, the almost inaudible creak of the building settling into its own rest. Maybe you can't hear crickets where you are, but you can imagine them, a tiny, rhythmic presence at the edges of the night, like small, steady lanterns of sound glowing in the dark. All of this together creates a kind of living stillness. Stillness does not mean the absence of sound. It means that sound is no longer chaotic, no longer overwhelming. It has softened into something gentle, something that flows around you instead of crashing into you. The night's symphony has only a few instruments, each playing quietly, leaving vast spaces of softness between every note. Notice how your body responds when you tune into this. Your breath might begin to match the pace of the sounds around you, slow, unhurried, like the cricket's steady rhythm or the far-off sigh of passing cars. Your muscles, already loosening, may release a little more, as if reassured by the consistency of these tiny nocturnal noises. They say, in their own way, the world is still here. It is quiet, but it is alive. You can rest inside this aliveness. You are not separate from this symphony. Your own breathing is part of it. The gentle in and out, the soft sound in your throat, the faint rustle as your chest rises against fabric. The small movements of your body, barely there, are like occasional tender notes added to the night's music. Even your heartbeat, though you may not hear it with your ears, is one more rhythm beating time in the background of the stillness. As you listen, let go of the need to identify each sound. You don't have to ask, what was that? Or where is that coming from? Let the mind step back from naming and allow the whole field of sound to blur into one gentle presence. Crickets, distant hums, the sigh of the building, your own breath, all one soft, continuous piece. This is stillness as symphony, quiet yet full, sparse yet deeply alive. And as you rest inside it, you may feel something in you begin to match it. A subtle inner stillness awakening, not empty, but humming softly with the quiet music of your own existence, here, now, in the tender, listening dark. If you could step outside your room right now, beyond the walls and rooftops, beyond the tangled lines of streets and cities, you would find yourself under an enormous, breathing sky. Even if clouds are there, even if you can't see them with your eyes, the stars are still above you, far out, far away, scattered like quiet thoughts across an endless field of dark. Light from some of those stars has been traveling for years, decades, centuries, just to arrive here, in this moment, while you lie in your bed, listening and breathing in the night. Imagine that sky now, the vast, soft darkness, points of light, steady and patient, constellations tracing stories older than any language you speak. Between each star, there is distance, immense, silent, almost unimaginable, and yet somehow This emptiness between them does not feel cold. It feels like a deep, spacious breath, the breath between stars. As you inhale, feel your chest gently rise, as if it is expanding toward that sky. You are not trying to reach it. You are simply recognizing that your body is part of the same universe, made of the same elements that burn in distant suns and drift in interstellar dust. Your ribs open like a small constellation, your lungs receiving air that has been moving through forests, oceans, mountains, and cities. Air touched by countless lives, countless moments. As you exhale, feel yourself soften back into the bed, into the room, into the quiet gravity of this one place. Your breath moves in and out, and in that simple movement, you echo something much larger. The way galaxies drift, the way tides rise and fall, the way day turns slowly into night and back into day. You are a small rhythm inside a greater rhythm, a gentle pulse within a vast cosmic heartbeat. When the mind feels crowded, it can seem as if your thoughts are the whole world. Each worry becomes a star that fills the sky by itself, too bright, too close. But if you step back in your imagination, if you look from a wider angle, you see that no single star dominates the heavens. There's always space around it. There's always the soft darkness that holds it. In the same way, each thought in your mind is just one point of light in a much larger space of awareness. Notice this now. A thought appears. You see it. It shines for a moment, asking for attention. But around it, there is a quiet background, a kind of inner night sky. That background is still spacious and vast. It is the breath between thoughts, like the breath between stars. As you lie here, let your awareness widen. Feel the boundaries of your body. Yes, the weight, the warmth, the contact with the bed, and then feel beyond them, into the space of the room, into the gentle air that surrounds you. Imagine that space expanding outward, merging with the night outside, and then stretching up into the sky, past the low clouds, past the upper atmosphere, out into the deep, star-filled dark. You do not need to picture every detail. Just sense the direction of it. Wider, quieter, vaster. Your problems, your tasks, your questions, they still matter, but they are not the whole of reality. They are small lights in a very large sky. You are allowed for now to let them be small, to let them shimmer at a distance, while you rest in the larger space that holds them. Breathe in. Feel the universe quietly moving through you. Breathe out. Feel yourself floating weightless in a safe, dark sea of stars. Here, in this vastness, nothing is rushed. Time moves slowly. The mind can unclench, its grip loosening, like a hand opening in the dark. You are not separate from this cosmic stillness. You are an expression of it. One quiet human breath in the great endless breath between stars. All your life, you have been told stories about who you are. Some of those stories came from your family, some from school, work, culture, the people you've loved. Some came from your own mind, trying to make sense of your experiences. I am this kind of person. I am not that kind of person. I am good at this. I always fail at that. These stories matter. They shape how you move through the world. But tonight, as you lie here in the dark, there is a quieter question waiting for you. Who are you beneath all of that? To begin touching this, we need to notice something simple but profound. There's a difference between your thoughts and the awareness that notices those thoughts. Right now, thoughts may still be moving through your mind. They might be about today, replaying moments that felt unfinished. They might be about tomorrow, rehearsing scenarios, making plans, imagining what could go wrong or right. They might be about you, your successes, your mistakes, your hopes, your regrets. Whatever shape they take, thoughts are like sentences appearing on a screen. They come and go. Each one feels solid for a moment, then it fades, replaced by another. Some repeat, looping back again and again, trying to convince you that they are the truth. But all of them share one thing: they are temporary. None of them stay forever. Now, gently shift your attention from the thoughts themselves to the one who is aware of them. Notice that you can see a thought come and go. You can say, "Oh, I'm thinking about that conversation again," or "There's worry about tomorrow." This ability to notice is not itself a thought. It is the clear, open space in which thoughts appear. If you were only your thinking mind, you wouldn't be able to observe it. You would be completely merged with every story it told. But you can step back, even just a little, and witness the thoughts like clouds passing in a wide sky. That wide sky is your awareness. It doesn't have an opinion about each cloud. It doesn't argue or agree. It just allows them to move. Some are bright and light. Some are dark and heavy. All pass to the same open space. The sky is not stained by the storms. It does not become broken when clouds gather. It remains itself, vast, quiet, unchanged. In the same way, awareness is not harmed or defined by the thoughts that move through it. A self-critical thought may say, "I am not enough." But notice, that is just a sentence appearing in awareness. A hopeful thought may say, "Maybe things will get better." That too is a sentence appearing in awareness. What you truly are at the deepest level is the space in which both of these can arise. The quiet presence that holds them without becoming them. As you lie here, feel into that presence. Notice how you are aware of your breath, of the weight of your body, of the sounds around you. You are aware of the feeling of tiredness or restlessness or calm. All of this is happening within the field of your awareness. The content keeps changing. The awareness itself remains steady, like a soft light that never completely goes out. Who you are beneath thought is not a story, not a label, not a fixed identity. It is this living, silent knowing, the simple, undeniable sense of "I am here." You may not have words for it, and that's all right. It does not need a name. It only needs a little space, a little attention, as you sink more deeply into the quiet self that has been with you all along, watching gently as every thought rises and falls like waves upon its shore. There is a place in you that does not move, even when everything else is shifting. Not a physical place exactly, but a quality of stillness, a deep seat of being from which you can watch the changing scenes of your life. Most of the time, your attention is pulled up and out into those scenes, conversations, tasks, screens, stories. But tonight, you are invited to lean back inward into the quiet observer that has been there through it all. Begin once more with your breath. Feel the in-breath arriving, the out-breath leaving. Notice how, even as the breath changes, sometimes deeper, sometimes shallower, you are aware of it. That awareness does not inhale or exhale. It simply notices. The breath moves. The observer remains. Now expand that noticing. You are aware of the weight of your body, the contact with the bed, the way your muscles feel, perhaps heavy, perhaps softening, perhaps still holding a little tension. You are aware of sounds around you, the muted hum of night, the faint noises of your home settling, maybe even distant traces of life outside, and you are aware of the thoughts that continue to appear. Images, phrases, plans, memories. All of this is being observed. See if you can sense the one who is watching, not as a separate person, but as a steady point of stillness behind your eyes, behind your thoughts, behind your emotions. You might picture it as a quiet seat deep in the center of your chest, or as a calm presence resting just behind the mind, like someone sitting peacefully in the back row of a theater, watching the play of your experience unfold. On the stage, characters come and go. Worry, hope, doubt, excitement, fatigue. Some scenes are loud and dramatic. Others are gentle and subdued. The story keeps changing, but the one in the seat, the observing awareness, does not get pulled onto the stage. It does not have to fix the script. It simply sees. As you lie here, you can choose again and again to rest in that seat. When a thought arises, instead of climbing into it, you can notice a thought is appearing. When a feeling stirs in the body, instead of becoming lost in it, you can sense a feeling is moving through me. This doesn't mean you are distant or cold. In fact, from this deep seat of being, you can meet your own experience with more kindness because you are not drowning in it. The observer does not judge. It does not say, this thought is bad or this feeling is wrong. It says only, this is here. It makes room for everything, the tension and the release, the fear and the comfort, the tightness and the ease. In that open, non-judging space, your experience is allowed to breathe. It can appear, unfold, and soften in its own time. Notice how it feels, even for a few breaths, to sit in that inner seat. There may still be movement, thoughts passing, sensations shifting, but something in you is quieter, more grounded. You begin to sense that you are not only the waves on the surface of your life, you are also the depth beneath them, the calm water that holds it all. Stay here for a little while. Rest as the observer, the deep, quiet presence that has been with you through every age, every season, every version of yourself. This is the deep seat of being, unmoving, aware, and endlessly patient, holding you gently as you drift further into stillness and towards sleep. Imagine that within you, there is a quiet room, not made of bricks or wood, but of softness and space. A place that feels like the inside of a temple, wide and warm, echoing with a gentle, comforting hush. The world outside this room can be noisy, busy, demanding. But in here, everything is slower. The air itself seems to be resting. Let yourself arrive at the doorway of this inner room. You don't need to see it clearly. You might sense it as a feeling in your chest or in the center of your body, or simply as a subtle inwardness, a place you turn toward when you close your eyes and sigh. At the threshold, you can feel the difference. Outside, the mind's chatter. Inside, a deeper silence that seems to resonate softly like a low, distant tone. Step inside, gently. As you enter, imagine the door closing quietly behind you. Not locked, just resting. The sounds of the day become muffled, like echoes fading down a long hallway. Responsibilities, expectations, all the roles you play remain on the other side of that door for now. You can return to them later. In this room, you are simply you, without needing to be anything in particular. Feel the atmosphere here. There is a warm interior hush, as if the walls themselves are made of stillness. The space has a temple-like resonance, not grand or imposing, but tender, like a sanctuary made just for you. Everything you bring into this room is welcomed. Your tiredness, your confusion, your small joys, your unspoken worries. Nothing is too loud or too messy to be held here. The stillness does not reject anything. It wraps itself around whatever you are feeling, like a soft cloak. Find a place to sit or lie down in this inner room. Maybe you picture a simple cushion or a low, familiar bed. Maybe you don't picture anything at all and just sense a feeling of being supported from within. Notice how, even in your imagination, your body responds, shoulders dropping, breath softening, long exhales slipping out of you like a quiet relief. Here, thoughts may still move, but they are gentler, as if they too are whispering. You might hear the mind say, I should be doing more, or I don't know what will happen, or did I handle that right? But in this room, those thoughts are like visitors who have taken off their shoes. They walk more slowly, their edges are rounder, and there's a deeper presence here that listens without being pulled away. Your own inner stillness, patient and vast. Feel how this stillness holds everything. A memory might arise. It is held. A wave of emotion might swell. It is held. A moment of emptiness or uncertainty might pass through. It is held. Nothing has to be fixed immediately. Nothing has to be pushed away. In this room, your only task is to be exactly as you are, and to let the quiet presence within you make space for it all. If you like, you can imagine a soft golden light filling the room. It doesn't shine harshly. It glows gently, like late afternoon sun resting on old stone. With each breath, this light washes through you, from your chest to your shoulders, down your arms, through your belly, your back, your legs, all the way to your feet. Anywhere it touches, the muscles loosen a little more, the nervous system calms, the mind's grip relaxes. Stay here as long as you wish. Know that this inner room of stillness is not a special place you visit only once. It is a part of you, always available, even in the middle of busy days. Tonight, as you drift towards sleep, you can let yourself lie down fully on the floor of this room, feeling its quiet, warm resonance holding you from within. The door stays gently closed. The world can wait. Here, in the inner room of stillness, you are safe, you are held, and you are allowed. Finally, deeply, to rest. Letting go rarely happens all at once. Most of the time, it begins with something small, a tiny softening, a breath that goes a little deeper than the one before. A moment when your body remembers it doesn't have to hold so tightly. Think of this part of the night as the soft unclenching, the slow, gentle loosening of everything you've been gripping, both inside and out. Start with what you can feel most clearly, your body. Notice, without judgment, where you are still holding on. Maybe your shoulders are slightly lifted, as if they're waiting for the next thing to respond to. Maybe your jaw is quietly tense, teeth almost touching. Maybe your hands are curled tighter than they need to be, fingers ready to reach for something, to type, to scroll, to fix. You don't have to force them to relax. Just see them. Awareness itself is like warm water. When you bring it to a tight place, that place begins to soften simply because it's no longer being ignored. So, with your next exhale, imagine your shoulders dropping a fraction of an inch, not collapsing, not dramatically letting go, just settling, like leaves slowly lowering themselves onto the surface of a still pond. Now, bring that same gentle noticing to your face. Feel your forehead, your eyes, your cheeks. Around your mouth, there might be lines of effort left over from the day, smiles held in place, polite expressions, moments of composure. Let your lips part the tiniest bit. Let your tongue rest more heavily in your mouth. If it helps, you can imagine your entire face being cradled in soft hands, invited to release the role it has been playing. Move your attention down into your chest and belly. This is where so much emotional life lives. Worry tightening the chest, anxiety fluttering in the stomach, unspoken sadness curling protectively around the heart. You don't need to pry any of this open. Instead, breathe into it as if you are offering these tender areas a little more room. Inhale. It's okay to feel what I feel. Exhale. It's safe to loosen, even just a little. As you exhale, imagine the muscles across your chest gently unhooking, like the loosening of a clasp. Your belly doesn't have to be held in. It is allowed to soften, to rise and fall freely with your breath, like a calm tide. Now, notice your hands again. So often, they're the ones that carry your urgency, reaching, fixing, scrolling, typing, holding. Let your fingers uncurl, resting open against the sheets or pillow. If you like, imagine that everything you've been holding, every worry, every plan, is sliding out through your palms, falling into the soft darkness around you, where it can be carried by something larger than you. This soft unclenching is not only physical. Emotionally, you have been braced against what might go wrong, against disappointment, against the unknown. See if you can feel that bracing, not as a flaw, but as something deeply understandable. Of course, you tightened around what mattered to you. Of course, you tried to protect yourself. And now, softly, you can let some of that protection rest. You don't have to drop your guard completely. You don't have to be utterly open and vulnerable. Letting go tonight might simply mean loosening your grip on how everything has to be. It might mean whispering inwardly, maybe I don't need to solve this right now. Maybe I can let life hold it for a while. Feel the bed beneath you, the way it carries your weight without effort. Let that be your model. You too can be like the bed to your own experience, supportive, steady, not clenching around each feeling, just allowing it to rest and spread out. With each breath, with each tiny shift of your muscles, with each quiet recognition of, I don't have to hold this so tightly, you're practicing the art of the soft unclenching. Nothing forced, nothing rushed. Just a slow release, wave by gentle wave, as your body and heart learn once again how to let go. All day, your mind has been working like a careful conductor, directing attention here, then there, keeping track of what needs to be done, what needs to be remembered, what might go wrong, and how to prevent it. It has been organizing, predicting, analyzing, narrating, trying in its own devoted way to keep you safe in a world that can feel uncertain. But the same abilities that serve you in the day can make it hard to rest at night. The mind doesn't always know how to put down the baton. It keeps scanning for problems, rehearsing future conversations, replaying old ones. It thinks that if it just keeps turning, it will eventually find the perfect solution, the perfect plan, the perfect version of you. So even as your body lies here, your mind might still be standing, alert, in a bright, crowded room. Tonight, We are not trying to switch the mind off like a light. Instead, we're inviting it to dissolve gently into quiet, the way a bright color slowly fades into softer shades, the way a loud song gradually fades into a whisper. Begin by noticing that your thoughts are still moving. Maybe there's a sentence about tomorrow's schedule. Maybe an image from today. Maybe a vague, wordless sense of concern. Rather than following each thought, just see them as shapes passing through a dimly lit space. They don't need to become clearer. They don't need to be fully understood. They can stay soft around the edges. Imagine that your thoughts are written in chalk on a blackboard. For a moment, the mind writes a worry, a plan, a memory. You see the words there. Then, with each out-breath, a soft cloth passes over a corner of the board, smudging the lines, blurring the letters. Nothing is erased with force. The edges simply fade. Sentences dissolve into gentle streaks of white, then into an almost clean, dark surface. You might still feel the urge to sharpen everything again. The mind may lean forward, wanting to rehearse, to sort, to categorize. When you notice this, there's no need to scold yourself. Just acknowledge it. The mind is trying to take control again. Then gently offer it another job, something simpler, quieter. Give your mind the task of watching your breath, not controlling it, just witnessing. In and out, in and out. Let the thoughts continue in the background if they need to, like distant conversations in another room. Your main attention rests on the gentle rise and fall of your chest, the subtle movement of air. The breath becomes a soft, steady lullaby that your mind can lean against. As it does, the part of you that insists on managing everything begins to tire. It realizes that just for tonight, it doesn't have to solve every puzzle. It doesn't have to organize the entire future. The world can turn without its constant supervision. Your mind, like a worker at the end of a long shift, can hang up its coat, turn off the bright overhead lights, and step out into the quieter evening of your inner world. Thoughts will still appear, but they become more like dreams. Short, flickering images, half-formed ideas. They float up, then drift away before they fully land. You don't have to catch them. You don't have to make them make sense. The tighter structure of daytime thinking loosens into the fluid, more spacious flow of the night. Let yourself feel that shift from control to trust, from directing to drifting, from thinking as hard as you can to letting your awareness rest in something softer and deeper. Your mind is not disappearing. It is simply dissolving into quiet, merging with the stillness beneath it as you are carried gently toward the borderlands of sleep. There comes a point in the night when effort has done all it can. You've thought your thoughts. You've replayed the day. You've worried your worries, planned your plans, tried to arrange the future in your mind so that it will feel safe. And yet, sleep doesn't arrive because you force it. Rest is not something you can tighten your way into. It comes when you loosen, when you surrender, when you allow yourself to be carried. So tonight, imagine that you are lying at the edge of a gentle river. The air is soft and cool. The world around you is dim and quiet. The water moves slowly past, dark and smooth, reflecting faint traces of moonlight. This river is not rushing anywhere. It is not in a hurry. It is simply flowing, as it has always flowed, following its own patient path. You step into the water, not with your body, but with your awareness. At first, You might feel a little hesitant, unsure how to let go of the shore, how to trust something you can't fully see. You have stood on solid ground for so long, holding yourself upright, managing each step. But the river waits, calm and inviting, as if saying, you don't have to walk right now. You can float. Gently, you allow yourself to lean back. Feel the moment of surrender as your weight shifts from your own effort to the support of the water. Your feet leave the riverbed. Your body lengthens, spine resting along the surface. The river receives you completely. It does not ask how your day went. It does not evaluate whether you've done enough to deserve the support. It simply holds you. At first, your muscles may still try to help. Subtle tensing, small adjustments, as if they're afraid you might sink if they stop working. But gradually, as you breathe, you begin to realize the water doesn't let you fall. If you soften, it lifts you. If you relax your arms, your legs, your shoulders, the river cradles you even more gently. This is the shift from surrender into trust. Trust that you do not have to control every movement. Trust that you can rest in something larger than yourself. Life, night, stillness, whatever name feels right for you. Trust that for these hours of darkness, the world can carry on without your constant vigilance, just as the river continues to flow whether or not you are watching. Feel the gentle drifting. You are floating now, carried downstream by a current so smooth you almost can't feel it. The stars, far above, move slowly across the sky. Trees along the banks are silhouettes, quiet witnesses to your passage. You do not know exactly where this river is going, but in this moment, that not knowing feels peaceful. You are moving without having to make every decision, resting while the water does the traveling. In your bed, your body is still. But in your inner world, you are floating, held by something steady and kind. Thoughts may still appear, like occasional branches drifting past, but you don't have to grab onto them. They can pass by as you continue to lie back, face turned to the sky, carried by the dark, gentle water of the night. Let yourself trust this river. Let it take the weight from your muscles, the pressure from your mind, the urgency from your heart. You do not have to swim. You do not have to steer. For now, you are simply floating, safe, supported, surrendered, carried quietly toward the soft, distant shore of sleep. There is a delicate place between waking and sleep, where the world begins to blur. You are not fully here in the sharpness of your usual thoughts, and not yet gone, surrendered to dreaming. You are standing very softly on a threshold. If the day was a bright, busy room and sleep is a deep, dark ocean, this is the shoreline where waves just barely touch your feet, where sand and water meet and mingle. In this in-between state, everything slows down. Imagine beneath these words a soft, repetitive, rhythmic tone, almost like a heartbeat, almost like the distant echo of a drum in a quiet valley. It doesn't rush. It doesn't change much. It simply repeats again and again, inviting your brain and body to match its pace. Each gentle pulse says, slower now, slower. You can let go a little more. Notice how your thoughts feel different here. Earlier, they may have been sharp, fast, clearly formed, full sentences, strong images, looping concerns. But now, at a threshold, they begin to lose their edges. A thought about tomorrow dissolves halfway through. A memory from today drifts into something less concrete, like a dream beginning to form. It's okay if things stop making perfect sense. That confusion is not a problem. It is a sign that you are crossing over. Your body knows this place. You've been here many times. Those moments when your eyelids grow heavy, when you half hear a sound and half drift away from it, when your sense of time becomes strange and stretchy, the muscles loosen further, the weight of your limbs becomes pleasantly vague, as if they are not as solid as they used to be, more like warm sand slowly sliding into comfort. Let your attention rest on that rhythmic tone in the background. It could be your own breath, in and out, in and out. It could be the faint, steady hum of the night, or the imagined pulse of a soft drum. Whatever form it takes for you, allow it to become your companion at the threshold. Each repetition is a small step away from the brightness of waking and toward the dim, gentle glow of sleep. You do not have to rush across. There is no deadline here, no test to pass. The threshold is a kind host. It will hold you for as long as you need. Half awake, half dreaming, thoughts unwinding in long, loose threads. If worries appear, they might feel slower too, like they're moving through water rather than air. You can watch them drift by without needing to chase them. You might notice flickers of imagery now, not quite dreams, not quite memories. A face, a color, a place from long ago, a scene that never really happened. They come and go on their own, like brief flashes of light on the surface of water. You don't have to follow them. Let them appear, shimmer, and disappear while you remain here, breathing with the soft, repetitive, rhythmic tones. This is the doorway between story and silence. On one side, the narrative of your day. On the other, the wordless world of sleep. You are standing, or rather lying, right in that doorway, gently swaying between them. You don't need to choose. Gravity will choose for you in its own time, as your mind grows drowsier and your body sinks deeper into the bed. So, for now, simply stay. Feel the threshold beneath you, like a narrow bridge covered in soft moss, safe and quiet. Feel the tones, the breath, the night, all moving at the same slow pace. You are allowed to linger in this in-between state, to be neither fully awake nor fully asleep, just gently falling, gently drifting, gently crossing over into the soft, waiting dark of rest. Imagine that just within your mind, there is a path that leads gently downward, not steep, not dark in a frightening way, just a soft, gradual descent into deeper quiet. You are standing at the top of that path now, already drowsy, already loosening, ready to go wherever rest is waiting for you. With your next breath, take the first step. You might picture a staircase made of smooth stone, edges rounded from time and use. Or perhaps it's a path of soft earth, lined with moss and leaves, leading into a quiet forest clearing. Maybe it's neither. Maybe you simply have the feeling of moving down, like a leaf slowly drifting toward the ground. There is no right image, only what feels naturally gentle for you. With each exhale, you descend a little further. Notice how the world around you changes as you go. At the top, the air still carries faint traces of the day, sounds, thoughts, subtle echoes of activity. But as you drift downward, those sounds grow softer, more distant, as if someone is slowly turning the volume knob of the world down, down, down. Take another slow, easy breath. With the next out-breath, imagine yourself taking a few more steps or sinking a little further, as though you are lying on a very slow-moving cloud. that is gradually lowering you through layers of air. The higher layers are thin and bright, full of thought and planning. The deeper layers are warmer, dimmer, more spacious, filled with the quiet hum of your own being. Your body responds to this descent. The muscles along your back might feel heavier, melting into the bed. Your arms and legs may seem less distinct, as if they are blending into the surface beneath you. The border between you and bed becomes less solid, more like two soft materials settling into one another. You are being held, and you are letting yourself be held. Now imagine that, as you go lower, you pass through gentle bands of light. Each band is a different shade of calm. The first might be a pale blue, cooling your forehead, soothing your thoughts. The next could be a muted gold, warming your chest, loosening old tension around your heart. Another might be a deep indigo, wrapping around your belly and hips, inviting everything there to soften and rest. With each layer of light you pass through, you feel a little more relaxed, a little more distant from the busyness above. Thoughts still flicker now and then, but they feel lighter, less important, like small bubbles rising and popping at the surface while you drift deeper below. You don't need to reach up for them. They can stay where they are while you continue to float downward into quiet. Your breath is your companion on this descent. Inhale, you are gently lifted, just enough to feel safe and supported. Exhale, you sink a little deeper, as if the bed itself has gained another soft, welcoming layer. If you like, you can silently count each exhale as a step down. 10, 9, 8, gradually lowering yourself into a slower, quieter level of consciousness. As you move, the images may begin to blur. The staircase becomes less distinct. The forest path more like a feeling than a picture. You might not see anything clearly at all, only sense the downward motion, the growing softness, the deepening quiet. That is perfectly all right. The point is not to hold the image tightly, but to allow it to carry you, to let the idea of descent work on your body and mind, loosening their grip. You are going somewhere very simple, the place where sleep begins, not a place you have to find or construct, but a place you naturally sink into when you stop trying to stay above the surface. So continue to drift, step by gentle step, breath by gentle breath, trusting that with every small release, every soft exhale, you are descending into a deeper, safer, quieter part of the night, into the soft, dark cradle where sleep is already waiting for you. There is a kind of darkness that is not empty, not cold, not threatening. It is the darkness of a quiet room where someone has already turned down the lights for you. The darkness of a soft theater just before the music begins. The darkness of a night sky that has wrapped itself around the world like a blanket. This is the darkness you are entering now. The gentle darkness, the one made for rest. Let yourself notice how different this feels from the bright sharpness of the day. In daylight, everything has edges, objects, tasks, conversations. They all stand out clearly, asking for your attention, your response, your effort. But here, in the dark, edges soften, shapes blur. The world becomes less about doing and more about being. You don't have to see everything. You don't have to keep track of all the details. The darkness does the opposite of asking you to pay attention. It invites you to close your eyes and let go. Feel the first layer of rest settling over you. Your body is already lying down, already supported. The surface beneath you knows your shape exactly, holding every curve, every line, without judgment, without demand. The air is still, or nearly so. Sounds are muted. Even inside your chest, the heart is finding a slower rhythm, no longer racing to catch up to the day. Here, you are safe. Whatever the mind has been carrying, the worries about tomorrow, the echoes of earlier conversations, the quiet ache of things unresolved, does not need to be solved in this darkness. The night is not a courtroom. It is not a meeting. It is not a test. It is a shelter, a place where you are allowed to put all the questions down like heavy bags at the door and enter with nothing in your hands. If you listen closely, you might sense a kind of quiet promise in the dark. You're not required to hold everything right now. You are allowed to be small and tired and unfinished. You are allowed to rest exactly as you are. Feel how your breath moves through this darkness. Inhale, and it's as though you're drawing in a little of the night's cool, calm presence. Exhale, and you're offering your weight, your tension, your lingering thoughts back into the gentle dark, letting them be absorbed, softened, cradled. The darkness doesn't resist them. It surrounds them, diffusing their intensity like ink spreading into water until the whole surface is evenly, softly tinted. From this sense of safety, surrender becomes possible. Not a dramatic surrender, not a forced act, but a gradual one, like a child falling asleep mid-sentence, mid-thought, mid-movement. You do not have to finish the story in your head. You do not have to reach the perfect conclusion. You can let the sentence trail off. You can let the thought dissolve halfway through. The darkness will catch it, and you, both. Notice if any part of you is still trying to stay awake, just in case. The mind might say, I need to stay alert. I need to keep watch. Gently, kindly, you can whisper back, not now. The night is watching. The world is still turning. I am allowed to surrender for a while. Feel that message sink into your muscles, into your bones, into the small, quiet spaces inside your chest. Little by little, you are no longer a separate shape in the room. You become part of the darkness itself, a warm, breathing presence nested inside a larger, softer presence. Rest deepens into safety. Safety deepens into surrender. And in that surrender, sleep can finally come, not as something you chase, but as something that rises up from the gentle darkness to meet you and carry you all the way down. As the body grows heavier and the room grows softer, another world begins to stir, not outside you, but within. It doesn't arrive all at once. At first, it's just a suggestion, a color, a faint shape, a feeling that doesn't quite have a name. The dreaming mind starts to loosen the threads of ordinary reality, weaving something new from the day's fragments. You are not forcing this. It's happening quietly, gently, in the background, like a picture slowly coming into focus in very soft light. Imagine with as little effort as possible that there is a landscape opening up inside you. You don't have to see it clearly. In fact, it's better if you don't. Let everything stay blurred at the edges, like a painting seen through half-closed eyes. Maybe there's a path curving through this inner place, or a field, or a shoreline. Perhaps there are trees, or distant hills, or the hint of a river reflecting a muted sky. Nothing sharp, nothing bright, only gentle shapes in gentle tones. This landscape is not bound by the rules of your waking life. It's made of memory and imagination and something older and quieter than both. A tree might be one you passed years ago, mixed with a tree from a story you heard as a child. The air might feel like the air of a late summer evening, even if it's another season in your waking world. The ground beneath your feet, if you feel feet at all, might be soft like moss or smooth like warm stone. You are not walking here in the usual way. It's more like you are drifting through this inner landscape, moving without effort. With each slow breath, you glide a little further along. Inhale, and you glide forward. Exhale, and the world around you becomes a little more vivid, still soft-edged, but present. You can sense the contours of the land even if you can't fully see them. A gentle rise here, a slow downward slope there, the suggestion of open space just ahead. Notice the sky in this inner world. It might be twilight, a deep blue that's almost violet, with no harsh sun, no glaring light, just a steady, dim radiance that lets you see enough without waking you up. Perhaps a few stars are beginning to appear, shy and distant. Perhaps there's a moon, blurred like a reflection in water. The sky feels calm, patient, unhurried, like a mind that has nothing it needs to solve. Around you, details drift in and out, a cluster of flowers that seem familiar, then become something else, a doorway that leads nowhere in particular, just a feeling of invitation, a low stone wall, not to keep anything out, not to keep anything in, simply resting there, part of the scenery. You don't need to understand any of it. This is not a puzzle. It's more like a gentle background to your resting awareness. You are moving through your own dreaming mind. This landscape is the place where impressions from your day are quietly rearranging themselves, where feelings find symbolic shapes to inhabit. Waves, trees, paths, clouds. The more you relax, the more your waking identity loosens its grip, the more fluid everything becomes. Edges blur further. Time doesn't matter here. You could be in the memory of a childhood backyard and a place that doesn't exist anywhere all at once. Let yourself trust this inner landscape. It knows how to hold your experience without words, without logic, without explanation. As you drift, you don't have to steer. You don't have to decide where to go. The scene changes on its own, softly, like slow clouds moving across a sky you barely notice anymore. Your breath continues, steady and quiet. With every exhale, you sink a little deeper into the scenery inside you. With every inhale, the world around you, both inner and outer, grows a little softer, a little more distant. Soon, this landscape will reshape itself into full dreams, stories you may or may not remember. For now, you are in the doorway of that realm, gliding peacefully through a place with soft edges, held gently by the dreaming mind that watches over your sleep. Dreams do not speak in sentences. They speak in symbols, soft, shifting shapes that rise from the quietest parts of you. As you drift deeper into this inner landscape, you begin to notice how everything around you feels more like meaning than object, more like emotion wearing the costume of form. Here, language loosens, logic softens, and what remains is something older, gentler, and far more poetic than a daylight mind can usually grasp. Imagine yourself drifting among these symbols as if floating through a gallery made of your own subconscious. You pass a tree whose branches glow faintly, not with light, but with memory. Each leaf might hold an echo of something, an old kindness, a forgotten longing, a fleeting worry. You don't need to reach for any of it. The branches sway slowly in a breeze that seems to come from inside you. You simply notice, drifting by. A small stone appears next, smooth and warm in your hand, even though you don't remember picking it up. In the dream language, this stone might be a symbol of something you've carried for years, a responsibility, a self-expectation, a question that never had an answer. But here, the stone feels lighter than in waking life. You roll it gently between your fingers, aware that it no longer weighs you down. Eventually, without thinking, you let it fall. The stone disappears before it hits the ground. Symbols in dreams have a softness to them. They don't demand interpretation. They don't insist on meaning. They simply appear when they're needed and fade when they've offered what they came to offer. As you drift deeper, the landscape around you begins to rearrange itself again, colors merging, shapes dissolving, shadows stretching like long silk ribbons. A doorway appears, standing alone in a field with no walls around it. You approach, drifting, not walking. When you pass through, nothing dramatic happens. There's no change in temperature or sound, but you feel something subtle shift inside you. A loosening, a widening, like stepping into a slightly larger version of yourself. The doorway isn't a threshold between places, but between states of being. It invites you to soften even further, to become more fluid, less bound by the waking mind's expectations. You move on. Ahead, there is a floating lantern, glowing with a light that feels familiar. It hovers just above eye level, as if waiting for you to notice it. When you do, the lantern drifts forward, leading you gently. You follow without effort. This is how dreams guide you, not by commands, not by logic, but by resonance. Something inside you recognizes the lantern, even if you don't consciously understand why. You follow its gentle glow until it reaches the stream. The water is slow and transparent, but what moves within it are not reflections. They're symbols: a feather, a key, a folded piece of paper, a childhood toy, a star that flickers even underwater. They drift along, unhurried, like thoughts that don't need conclusions. You kneel beside the stream, not physically, but in awareness, and watch each item pass. The dream mind is showing you pieces of your life in a way that does not overwhelm, that does not analyze, only displays. Perhaps you reach toward the water. Your hand moves through it effortlessly, creating ripples that change the symbols in small, delicate ways. A feather becomes a petal. A key becomes a small beam of light. The folded paper unfolds itself into a tiny bird. Nothing stays fixed here. Everything is allowed to transform, to adapt, to reveal new layers of meaning. In this drifting state, you begin to understand the essence of dream language. It is the language of openness, of possibility, of feeling without rigid form, of truth that doesn't need clarity to be true. You continue drifting, the symbols around you glowing softly in the muted twilight. Some will stay with you. Most will not. Dreams don't aim to be remembered. They aim to gently reorganize the inner world while you sleep. And as you float deeper into this symbolic realm, you feel yourself becoming part of it. Fluid, soft-edged, unburdened, carried by the poetic currents of the dreaming mind. Long ago, outside of time, outside of any map you know, there was a valley where the world went to rest. Mountains rose gently around it like folded arms, and a river of slow silver water wound its way through the center, moving with the unhurried patience of centuries. In this valley stood a single tree, older than memory, whose leaves did not rustle but breathed, expanding and softening with a rhythm so calm that even the wind slowed down to match it. They called this tree the Quiet Heart. No one knew exactly who gave it that name. Maybe the earth did. Maybe the first beings who ever needed rest. But for as long as stories had been told, it was said that whoever came to the Valley of the Quiet Heart would remember how to be still without fear, how to rest without guilt, how to feel deeply without being overwhelmed. You are walking there now, not with your body, but with the part of you that travels in dreams. The path is soft beneath your feet, like moss and old leaves. The air is warm in a gentle, almost timeless way. No specific season, no urgency in the shadows, just a steady, embracing calm. Above you, the sky is a deep twilight blue, neither night nor day, as if the valley exists in a permanent, tender in-between. As you draw closer, you begin to feel a presence before you see the tree. It's not a sound or a sight. It's more like a softening inside your chest, as though something that has been clenched for years is beginning to breathe again. Each step toward the center of the valley feels like a small exhale, a quiet letting go of a weight you didn't know you were still carrying. Then you see it. The Quiet Heart stands by the river, its roots deep in the earth, its branches curving outward like open arms. Its bark is smooth and dark, as if polished by countless gentle hands. The leaves glow faintly, a dim, pulsing light that brightens and fades in time with a slow, steady beat, like the echo of a heartbeat heard from far away. In the myth, beings from all corners of existence come here when they are tired, travelers with worn feet, guardians who have kept watch for too long, dreamers who have tangled themselves in their own fears. Even stars, it is said, send a small part of their light down to this valley when they need to remember how to shine without burning out. The tree does not speak in words. It doesn't need to. As you come to rest beneath its branches, you feel its quiet rhythm begin to align with your own. Your breath, your pulse, the small movements of your thoughts, they all start to slow, as if the tree is gently holding them, saying, "You do not need to rush. You do not need to try so hard. You are allowed to be quiet here." In this mythic space, your heart is not judged by how strong or brave or productive it has been. It is simply recognized. The sorrows it has carried, the loves it has held, the disappointments it has weathered, the hopes it still clings to, even on the most difficult days. All of these are seen by the Quiet Heart and welcomed the way the tree welcomes every season, blossom, leaf, bare branch, and snow. You might imagine placing your hand on the trunk. Under your palm, you feel that slow, steady pulse. Neither yours nor the trees alone, but something shared. An ancient, reassuring rhythm that whispers through your bones. Beneath all your stories, beneath all your thoughts, there is a deeper heart, a quieter heart that has always known how to rest. The myth of the Quiet Heart is not about a place you must travel to or a task you must complete. It is a story sleep tells you to remind you that such a valley exists inside you. A safe, mythic space where your own heart can lay down its armor and simply beat softly in time with a larger, gentler life. As you drift, you can feel yourself settling there now, under the glowing leaves, beside the silver river, wrapped in the ancient stillness of the Quiet Heart. Some lessons do not arrive in the bright light of effort. They do not come when you are sitting upright, concentrating, trying to understand, trying to fix yourself. They come later, when the day has quieted, when the muscles have softened, when the mind has finally loosened its grip on how everything is supposed to be. They come in darkness, not because darkness is empty, but because it leaves enough space for something deeper to speak. Think of all the times in your life when clarity appeared, not in the middle of struggle, but after the long conversation, when you were alone in your room. After the difficult day, lying awake in the quiet. After you gave up trying to find the answer, and suddenly, gently, a new way of seeing appeared. It is as if some part of you needed the noise to fade before it could lift its head and look around. Right now, as you rest in the soft dark of this night, that quiet part of you is here. It does not flash with dramatic insight. It does not deliver grand revelations. Its wisdom is subtler, like the glow of the sky just before dawn, or the faint outline of a landscape seen by starlight. It shows you enough to feel your way forward, but not so much that you're blinded. Wisdom in darkness often begins as a feeling rather than a thought, a sense that you're more tired than you've allowed yourself to admit, a realization that you've been too hard on yourself, expecting perfection from a heart that is doing its best, a gentle recognition that some things cannot be forced open, that they need time, patience, and space. As you lie here, notice any small, quiet truths that rise up when you stop chasing answers. Maybe there is a soft understanding that you need more rest than you've been giving yourself, not just tonight, but in your life. Maybe there's a whisper that says, you don't have to carry this alone, even if you're not yet sure how to share the weight. Maybe there's a tiny shift in how you see a situation, less blame, more compassion, both for yourself and others. These lessons are not loud. They don't push. They don't insist. They simply appear in the silence, like fireflies blinking once or twice in the dark. You might not remember their exact shape in the morning, but the feeling of having touched them remains. A slight easing in the heart, a small increase in trust, a willingness to be a little kinder to yourself. Rest itself is a kind of wisdom. It is your body's way of saying, enough for now. It is your mind's way of acknowledging that it cannot hold everything at once. It is life's way of reminding you that growth doesn't only happen when you are awake and working hard. It also happens when you are surrendering, when you're dreaming, when you're simply breathing in the dark. So as you drift, you don't need to search for deep meanings. You don't need to squeeze wisdom out of this moment. Instead, you can let the darkness do its quiet work. Let your thoughts slow. Let your breath find its own rhythm. Let your heart rest from judging, from striving, from keeping score. In this gentle space, wisdom will come in its own time and its own way, not as a demand, but as a gift from the darkness, rising softly from the stillness you've allowed yourself to enter tonight. There is a tender image that sleep offers you each night. The mind, like a tired traveler, finally resting its head. All day, it has been moving, thinking, planning, remembering, worrying. It has tried to anticipate what might happen, to protect you from what has already happened. to weave a story out of everything you see and feel. Even when you wished it would quiet down, it kept going, because that is what it knows how to do. Before it can rest, it first needs to be embraced. So for a moment, instead of fighting your mind, instead of wishing it were different, imagine gathering it gently into your arms. Picture your thoughts as a small, restless creature. Alert eyes, quick movements, always scanning the horizon. It has been trying so hard to keep you safe. Even when it bothers you, even when it exhausts you, this is its intention. You can whisper inwardly, "Thank you. You have done enough for today." Feel what happens when you shift from irritation with your mind to a kind of quiet compassion for it. It is like holding a child who has been on guard for too long, who finally realizes it is allowed to lean against someone, to breathe, to close its eyes. The mind, too, relaxes when it is no longer treated as an enemy. From this embrace, acceptance begins to bloom. Acceptance does not mean you like every thought. It does not mean you agree with every worry or story that appears. It simply means you stop insisting that your mind be perfectly calm in order for you to rest. You acknowledge, this is a mind that thinks. This is a heart that feels. Tonight, they can be exactly as they are, and I can still drift towards sleep. Notice any thoughts that are still circling. You don't have to chase them or push them away. You can imagine them lying down beside you, one by one, like birds folding their wings at dusk. A thought about tomorrow curls up on one side. A memory from today settles on the other. They are not gone, but they are quieter now, wrapped in the same darkness that wraps around you. Where does the mind rest its head? Maybe it rests on the soft pillow of your breath, rising and falling beneath it like a slow, steady lullaby. Maybe it rests on the gentle rhythm of your heartbeat, each beat a reassurance. Here, here, here. Maybe it rests in a warm, spacious feeling in your chest, that inner room of stillness you visited earlier, a place where nothing is demanded, nothing is rushed. Let your awareness sink into that resting place. You might no longer distinguish between mind and body and breath. Everything blends into a single field of softness. Thoughts drifting, breath flowing, muscles releasing. The edges of you become less defined. You are no longer the person who has to solve, to manage, to figure everything out. You are simply a presence floating in a warm, dark sea. Embrace has led to acceptance. Acceptance now leads to drifting on. You don't have to mark the moment when you cross from waking to sleep. There is no clear line, no gate you must pass through correctly. One thought fades, then another, until the mind's stories turn into dreams. And even those dreams are just waves on the surface of a deeper rest. Allow yourself to be carried. Your mind has put down its heavy bags. It has laid its head on a soft pillow of this night. And you, as the awareness that holds it all, are allowed to drift farther and farther from effort, closer and closer to the gentle, wordless quiet that has been waiting for you all along. There is a kind of quiet you reach only after many other layers have softened. At first, there is the outer silence, the sounds of the day fading, the room settling, the voices and engines and notifications growing distant. Then, there is the inner silence of a body that has loosened, muscles heavy, breath slow, limbs surrendered to the bed. Deeper still, there is the quieting of the mind, thoughts thinning, looping less, drifting instead of insisting. And beneath all of that, there is something quieter still, the silence beneath silence, the deepest still point. You cannot arrive there by force. You cannot think your way into it. It is not a reward for being good enough at meditation, or calm enough, or spiritual enough. It is simply what remains when everything that can move has moved, when everything that can soften has softened, when everything that can fall asleep is on its way to sleep. And yet something gently awake is still here. Let yourself sink toward that now. Feel how much has already quieted. The room around you is dim or dark. The bed is warm. Your body has become a landscape of soft hills and valleys, steadily rising and falling with the breath. Thoughts may still whisper, but they are lighter, like distant birds calling across a wide, foggy field. Now, instead of paying attention to any particular sound, sensation, or thought, turn your awareness toward the background itself. Notice that every sound appears in a kind of spaciousness. Every sensation arises in an open field of feeling. Every thought shows up in an inner sky. That spaciousness, that field, that sky, whatever image works for you, is already silent. It is not noisy. It does not speak. It simply allows. This is the silence beneath silence, the stillness that does not depend on what is or isn't happening. A thought arises, awareness is there, unchanged. A sound comes and goes. Awareness is there, unchanged. The body feels heavier, then lighter, then disappears from your attention altogether. Awareness is there, unchanged. Like a clear lake that reflects clouds, trees, stars, and yet remains itself. The core of stillness holds everything without ever being disturbed. You don't need to concentrate on this. In fact, effort can pull you away from it. Instead, let your attention rest lightly, like a feather, on the simple fact that you are aware. Not of what you're aware of, but of awareness itself, a soft, open knowing that doesn't push, doesn't pull, doesn't cling. It just is. If words arise, I am here, I am aware. Let them come and go as gentle echoes. You don't need to repeat them like a mantra. You are not trying to hold on to this stillness. You are allowing yourself to be held by it. Notice how safe it feels here. In this deepest still point, there are no demands, no roles, no past you must replay, no future you must prepare for. There is only this quiet presence, vast and intimate at the same time, so close it feels like the essence of you, so open it feels like the essence of everything. You might sense it in the heart area, a calm, steady center beneath whatever emotions are passing by. You might sense it behind the mind, like a serene witness watching the last sparks of thinking fade into the dark. Or you might not locate it anywhere at all. Just feel a diffuse, all-around stillness, like being suspended in gentle, motionless water. However it appears or doesn't appear, you don't need to do anything with it. Just rest. Let the silence beneath silence cradle you. Let it breathe for you, dream for you, keep watch for you. Even as you slip fully into sleep, this deepest still point remains, unchanging, untouched, holding you through the night, through every dream, through every breath, until morning returns and you slowly rise again from its quiet, endless embrace. If you look closely at anything alive, you will find a quiet center. A tree, for example, sways in the wind. Branches lift and bow, leaves tremble, shadows shift across the ground. On the surface, there is constant motion. Seasons turn it from bud to blossom, to fruit, to bare branch. Yet deep within, at the heart of its trunk and the stillness of its roots, there is a steady, silent life that does not rush. The same is true of you. On the outside, your life is full of movement, actions, choices, words, expressions. Inside, your mind is often full of motion too. Thoughts, emotions, images, questions, plans. But beneath all of that, there is a center that does not move. A quiet, aware presence that has been with you through every change you've ever experienced. It is not made of noise, it is made of stillness. This stillness is not a blank, empty nothing. It is the ground of everything that moves. Think of your breath. The inhale comes, the exhale goes. The body rises and falls. Each breath is a small event, a tiny wave. But what makes breathing possible is the space in which it happens, the quiet awareness that knows a breath is happening now. Without that awareness, the breath would still move, but there would be no experience of it. Awareness is the center. Breath is the dance around it. In the same way, thoughts appear and disappear in the open field of your mind. They are like birds crossing the sky, sometimes in flocks, sometimes alone, sometimes loud, sometimes faint. Feelings surge and ebb like tides. Sensations in the body come and go like weather. But the sky itself, the ocean beneath the surface, the earth beneath the weather, these are steady. Awareness, stillness, the quiet core of your being, these are the center of all this life. When we say stillness is the ground of all life, we are not suggesting that life should stop moving. We are pointing to the fact that all movement, all change, all experience appears within something that is itself unmoving. That something is not far away. It is not hidden in a distant place or reserved for special people. It is as close as the simple sense of I am here, felt before you add any story about who you are. Right now, as you lie here, you can taste this for yourself. Notice that whatever arises, thoughts, images, remnants of the day, appears in the same open space of consciousness. Notice that sounds, near or far, come and go in that same space. Notice that your body, with all its sensations, is being held in that space also. The space does not shrink or expand based on what you are feeling. It simply allows. This allowing is not passive. It is gently alive. Stillness listens. It receives. It holds. It is the soft center that does not turn away from anything. Always, there is room for one more breath, one more thought, one more feeling, one more moment. In this way, stillness is endlessly generous. It is the quiet center of all your experiences, and also the center of the wider world, the space in which the wind blows, rivers flow, stars burn, and nights like this unfold. You do not have to create this center. You do not have to become worthy of it. You only have to notice that it is already here, underneath everything else. As the night deepens and sleep comes closer, you can let yourself sink a little more into that unmoving ground, the center of all life, the still, silent heart within which everything rises and falls, and into which, gently, you are now being invited to rest. Imagine for a moment that your breath has no clear beginning and no clear end. Not this single inhale, not this single exhale, but a long, unbroken flow that has carried you from your first moment in this life and will carry you all the way to your last. Each breath you take tonight is just one small wave on the surface of that vast, infinite ocean of breathing. Breathe in very softly. Breathe out even softer. Somewhere underneath this narration, you might imagine a sound slowly fading, a long, near silent tone that stretches out, then dissolves into quiet, leaving a spacious pause before the next subtle swell. Your breath is like that now, less like distinct, separate movements and more like one continuous, gentle motion, barely disturbing the stillness around it. Notice how the inhale begins almost before you're aware of it. A slight opening, a soft drawing in. Air slides into you like water being welcomed into a hollow shell. Your chest rises a little. Your belly expands a little. The body receives this breath without effort, without question, nothing dramatic, just a quiet yes. Then comes the exhale. It arrives as a release, but not a hurried one. It's a slow, elongated letting go, as if the breath is in no rush to leave, as if it is gliding down a long, smooth slope into silence. As it fades, there's a tiny pause, a moment where nothing in particular happens. No breath in, no breath out, just stillness resting in itself. Let that pause be as long or as short as it wants to be. You are not managing it. You are not timing it. You are simply allowing it, the way you might allow a peaceful silence between two close friends who don't need to fill every gap with words. That pause is like a doorway into the infinite, an instant where you are not doing anything at all, simply existing. Inhale, exhale, pause, and again. If you like, you can imagine that with every breath, your body is becoming more and more transparent, more and more spacious, as though you are made of the same soft darkness as the room around you. The breath moves through you like a slow wind through an open field. Nothing to push against, nothing to resist. Just an easy passage from nowhere in particular to nowhere in particular. Each inhalation draws you gently toward awareness. Each exhalation melts you back into stillness. The edges between you breathing and night breathing begin to blur. It's as if the entire room, the entire darkness, is breathing with you. One long shared inhale, one long shared exhale, with wide, quiet pauses in between. A single, infinite breath expressing itself through countless smaller ones. You don't need to follow each breath closely now. You can let your attention widen, soften, becoming more like the pauses than the movement. The story of my breath, my body, my thoughts grows faint. What remains is this slow, rhythmic ebb and flow, stretching out into a calm that seems to have no boundaries. In those elongated pauses, you may feel as if time has thinned. No before, no after. Just this gentle, endless now. A stillness that breathes you, rocks you, holds you. You are not separate from it. You are a quiet ripple inside its vastness. Let yourself be carried by this infinite breath. There's nothing to fix, nothing to remember, nothing to become. Only this soft rise, this deep fall, this long, near silent fade into rest. And somewhere, beyond even the breath, the deepest stillness waits, patient, loving, already cradling you as you drift fully, peacefully into sleep. There is a moment somewhere between waking and dreaming when your body forgets how heavy it thinks it is. The usual sense of weight, the pull of gravity, the feel of muscles working to hold you up, begins to loosen. You are still lying on the bed, still supported by the same surface, but the way you experience it starts to change. The boundaries blur. You become less like a solid object resting on something firm, and more like a cloud suspended in a wide open sky. Let yourself drift into that feeling now. Begin by noticing how fully you are being held. The bed carries every part of you, the back of your head, the curve of your shoulders, the length of your spine, the softness of your hips, the backs of your legs, the soles of your feet. There is no part of you that is not supported. You are completely received. With your next exhale, imagine that the bed beneath you slowly loses its hardness, not disappearing, just becoming softer, more spacious, as if the mattress is widening into a gentle field of air. The floor beneath it softens too. Walls melt into shadow, ceiling dissolves into a dim, starless sky. You are still here, in this room, and yet also somewhere wider, somewhere less defined. You are lying in a weightless field. In this field, gravity is gentle, like a hand that has relaxed its grip. Your body no longer feels pressed down. Instead, there is a sense of being held from every direction at once. From below, yes, but also from above, from the sides, from within. It's as if the very space around you has become a soft, invisible cradle. Notice how your limbs feel in this field. Your arms may seem lighter, as though the bones inside them are hollow, filled with warm air. Your legs might feel pleasantly distant, less solid, almost as if they are slowly floating just a few centimeters above where they were. You don't have to test this. You don't have to move at all. Just allow the sensation of lightness to appear, however it wants to. Your body is here, but its importance is fading. The usual map, this is my shoulder, this is my knee, this is my hand, becomes blurry. All those distinct points of me soften into a single gentle presence spread out across the field. You are no longer a collection of separate parts. You are one continuous, weightless shape, resting in a vast cushion of quiet. If thoughts arise, imagine them as small bubbles rising through this field. They appear, they drift upward, they pop, silent, effortless. None of them needs to be chased. None of them needs to be caught and examined. The field you are floating in is big enough to hold every bubble without disturbance. Something deeper than thought is happening here. A surrender of heaviness. A letting go of the idea that you must always be carrying yourself. Let your breath move through this space. Inhale, and the field gently expands, as if the air itself is filling with a little more light. Exhale, and you sink, softly, slowly, just a bit further into weightlessness, like a feather settling through still air, taking its time, landing on nothing in particular. You are not falling. There is nowhere to fall to. You are suspended, supported, safe. The weight of the day has been taken off your shoulders, off your chest, off your mind. Even the weight of your own name, your roles, your stories grows lighter. For now, you're simply a drifting presence floating in a vast, quiet field that asks nothing of you except to rest. Stay here as long as you like, in this sensation of floating, untethered but held, light yet deeply grounded in a way that has nothing to do with gravity. This is dream-deep relaxation, the feeling of being carried by something larger, something gentle as you drift further into the vastness of sleep. Imagine for a moment that the whole universe is asleep with you, not dead, not inert, just resting. Stars still burn in their distant places, but their light feels softer, as if it is dreaming of the journeys it has taken. Planets continue their slow, faithful orbits, but without urgency, turning in the dark like drowsy dancers who know the steps by heart. Even time itself seems to stretch out, unhurried, like a long, calm breath. Let your awareness expand outward, beyond your room, beyond the walls and streets and buildings, beyond the city, the country, the oceans. Picture yourself rising gently, as if you're being lifted by a soft current of air, until you can see the world beneath you, a sphere of blues and greens and clouded whites, wrapped in a thin, glowing veil of atmosphere, floating quietly in the dark. From up here, everything looks peaceful. The noise of human life is muted. The hustle, the conversations, the screens, the rushing traffic, all of it dissolves into a soft, indistinct hush. What remains is the feeling of a planet at rest, turning slowly through space like a child curled up in sleep. You are just one small presence on its surface, but you are also part of the whole, a tiny, luminous point in this vast, dreaming body. Let that sense of boundlessness wash over you. Your usual boundaries, your name, your roles, your worries, seem to thin and soften. You are not just a person in a room tonight. You are awareness floating in a vast dark sea, sharing this night with countless others who are also lying down, also breathing, also letting go. Somewhere, someone else is drifting towards sleep under the same sky, cradled by the same invisible arms of gravity and night. Now, notice how this boundlessness is not cold. There is a gentle warmth within it, like a quiet fire at the heart of everything. Beneath the stillness of space, there is an immense, patient kindness. The way the earth keeps holding you, the way your breath keeps arriving, the way your heart keeps beating without being asked. All of this is happening in the background, tirelessly, like a loving presence that never leaves. Imagine that warmth as a soft glow spreading through the darkness around you. It starts as a faint golden light far off, then moves closer, filling the space between stars, tracing the outline of the earth, flowing down through the atmosphere into your room, into the air, into your body. It does not burn. It soothes, like the memory of being held, like the feeling of a blanket drawn over you by caring hands. You are not separate from this warmth. It lives in your chest, the quiet, steady heat around your heart. It lives in your breath, a gentle exchange between you and the world. It lives in your skin, where the air meets your body in countless tiny points of contact. The universe asleep around you is not indifferent. It is quietly embracing you, the way night embraces everything it covers. Feel that embrace now. The vastness is still there, the endless sky, the drifting stars, the turning planet. But instead of making you feel small, it cradles you. You are exactly the size you need to be, small enough to be held, large enough to contain entire galaxies of feeling and imagination inside you. Boundlessness has become a home, not a void. And within that home, a gentle warmth is spreading through your muscles, your bones, your thoughts, your dreams. You are one resting being in a resting universe, floating together in the same deep night. There is nothing you have to do, nowhere you have to go. You are already part of the great quiet sleep of the world, wrapped in its vastness, comforted by its warmth, drifting deeper into its peaceful, endless dark. Somewhere above the ceiling, beyond the layers of roof and air and cloud, the stars are keeping their quiet watch. You may not see them tonight. Your eyes may already be heavy, or the sky outside may be veiled. But they are there all the same, scattered across the dark, like small, patient listeners. If you listen very closely, you might almost imagine hearing them. Soft, shimmering tones, not quite sound, more like a feeling of being noticed in a gentle, wordless way. For a moment, imagine that you're lying directly under that sky. The roof fades. The walls dissolve. It is just you, on a soft patch of earth, cradled by the ground, wrapped in the night. Above you, the stars are not distant decorations. They are points of awareness, ancient and calm, shining with a light that has traveled so far just to arrive here, just to reach the place where you are resting now. You breathe in, and it is as if the sky leans slightly closer. You breathe out, and it is as if you are sending something upward, an unspoken story, a quiet ache, a small hope. You do not need to form these things into words. The stars do not require language from you. They receive your presence as it is, the weariness in your bones, the loosened tension in your muscles, the softening chatter of your mind. Everything you are feeling tonight rises like a faint mist toward that shimmering canopy. And the stars, in their own way, listen. Imagine each soft shimmering tone above you as a kind of response. Not an answer, not a solution, but a gentle acknowledgement. We hear you. We see how much you've tried. We see how much you've carried. Their light is not a spotlight, not harsh or exposing. It's more like a distant, reassuring nod, a cosmic hand placed lightly on your shoulder. You might picture one particular star, slightly brighter than the others. Let it be a point you can rest your awareness on, even if only in your imagination. That star is like a tiny mirror held up in the dark, reflecting back to you the truth that you are not alone. Whatever you are holding, fatigue, worry, longing, has been felt in countless hearts across countless nights. The universe is not indifferent to your small human life. It is vast enough to include it, tender enough to hold it. As you lie there, you may feel your chest loosen a little more. The breath flows more freely. The thoughts grow softer, quieter, like distant waves instead of crashing surf. You are not trying to send messages to the sky anymore. You are simply resting and letting yourself be silently accompanied by those faraway lights. The stars have seen many nights like this. Many people lying awake. Many people drifting into dreams. They have watched over joys and sorrows, beginnings and endings, without turning away, without growing tired. In that endless witnessing, there is a peculiar kind of comfort. You are one brief flicker in the long, shining story of existence. And yet, in this moment, your flicker matters. It is part of the whole. Hear those soft, shimmering tones again, very faint, like tiny bells ringing somewhere beyond thought. Each tone says, rest. It's all right to rest. You do not have to hold the sky alone. You are cradled from below by the earth and from above by the stars. Let that be enough. You do not need answers tonight. You do not need to understand the universe or your place within it. All you need is this feeling that as you drift, you are being gently listened to by a sky full of quiet, ancient lights. Stars that have always been there and will continue to shine as you finally let go and slip fully, peacefully into sleep. There is a moment when the night does not end, but begins to lean. Long before the sun appears, before light has the courage to pour itself over rooftops and roads, the sky starts to change in quiet ways. The blackness softens. The stars, who have kept you company through the long dark, grow paler, as if they are slowly closing their eyes. A color appears that is not quite blue, not quite gray, the softest shade of almost light. Imagine that sky now, even if your eyes are closed. You don't need to open them. You don't need to move. Just sense that somewhere above you, beyond ceiling and roof and cloud, the world is slipping into that early, fragile blue. The horizon is still mostly dark, but there is a thin band where the night loosens its grip, where darkness and light blend into each other like watercolors on wet paper. You are still resting within the night, but you are resting closer to morning. Inside your body, the same kind of shift is quietly happening. You may still be heavy with sleep, wrapped in dreams, or floating in the soft afterglow of them. Thoughts have not fully returned. They are slow, drowsy, in no rush, and yet, somewhere deep within, a faint stirring begins, like the first bird taking a breath before it sings, like the first hint of color testing the edges of the sky. There is no need to hurry this. The sky before morning is patient. It does not flip a switch from dark to light. It lingers in the between space, that delicate threshold where everything is half-formed and gentle. You are invited to linger there too, to remain mostly asleep or almost asleep, letting awareness rise not as a jolt, but as a slow, tender glow. Feel your breath in this pre-dawn space. Inhale, a whisper of coolness, like the first hint of morning air slipping through a slightly open window. Exhale, a soft warmth, like the last sighs of the night leaving your body. Each breath is part of this gradual turning, neither fully night nor fully day, but a bridge between them, a quiet blending. If you picture the sky, let it be very soft. No sharp sun, no bright rays, just that subtle lightening, the kind that makes outlines visible but leaves the world calm and muted. Trees, if you see them, are silhouettes. Buildings are simple shapes. The details will come later. For now, everything is simple, peaceful, held in a gentle bluish hush. You don't have to get up yet. You don't have to engage with the day. This part of the dawn is not about doing. It is about returning, slowly, from the depths of stillness, with the same gentleness that the sky uses to return from darkness. Your body can stay heavy and relaxed. Your mind can stay soft and unhurried. Awareness is just peeking over the horizon of sleep, seeing if it's time, and then deciding, not quite yet. A little longer here, in the almost light. Notice how comforting this can be. There is no demand in the pre-dawn sky. It does not knock loudly on your window. It simply brightens by a fraction, then another, inviting you to come back when you are ready. You can follow that invitation at your own pace, remaining in the warmth of your bed, floating between dreams and waking, letting the softest blue of the inner sky spread slowly through you. For now, you are like the world itself, not fully awake, not fully asleep, held gently in that tender space before morning. A quiet, luminous pause where everything is allowed to be exactly as it is, just a little lighter than it was before. There is a moment when the light begins to touch the world, but has not yet asked it to wake. Dawn doesn't arrive with fanfare. It begins with the quietest of gestures, the first pale rays slipping over the horizon, brushing against rooftops, treetops, the edges of windows. Before the city stirs, before alarms and engines and footsteps, morning sends a soft, almost shy light ahead of itself, as if checking gently. Is it time? Are you ready? Imagine those first quiet rays now. They are not bright, not harsh. They do not flood the room. They seep in, slowly, like water finding its way through fine cracks. Perhaps they touch the curtain, turning its darkness into a soft, gentle glow. Perhaps they find the outline of a chair, the corner of a table, the edge of the bed. They slip across surfaces without urgency, like fingertips trailing over familiar things with affection. inside you, something similar is happening. You have spent the night deep in the dark, where the mind could rest, where the body could repair itself in silence. Now, the first light of a new day is touching the edges of your awareness. Not the full brightness of plans and decisions and responsibilities, just a hint of possibility, the sense that something new is quietly arriving. Dawn is a metaphor the world offers you every day. No matter how long the night has been, it is not the end of the story. The first quiet rays do not erase what came before. They do not pretend the night never happened. They simply add something. Soft illumination, gentle warmth, a subtle change in perspective. In the same way, a new day does not demand that you become a different person all at once. It invites you to begin again, in small ways, with the same heart, but perhaps a little softer, a little wiser, a little more rested. As you lie here, you don't need to leap into renewal. You are still in the tender space between sleep and waking. But you can let those first rays of inner light touch you, a thought that feels kinder than your usual self-criticism, an impulse to breathe a little more deeply, a sense of gratitude that you are here, alive, carried through another night. Imagine the light resting very gently on your chest. It doesn't push you, it doesn't insist. It just lingers there, a warm, quiet presence, as if the new day is saying, you don't have to be perfect. You only have to arrive, exactly as you are. The light doesn't ask if you accomplished enough yesterday. It doesn't measure your worth. It simply recognizes you as part of the world waking up and welcomes you back. Every dawn is a small forgiveness. Whatever felt heavy the night before, whatever seemed tangled or impossible, can be seen anew in the morning's softer light. The problems may not be gone, but your relationship to them can shift. You might hold them with a little more space, a little more patience. You might remember that you are not only your difficulties, you are also the one who keeps moving through them, breath by breath, day after day. Let that sense of renewal be quiet. It doesn't need big resolutions or dramatic promises. It can be as simple as this: another chance to care for yourself, another chance to speak gently to yourself and others, another chance to move through the hours ahead with a little more awareness of the stillness you touched in the night. As those first quiet rays spread slowly across the inner landscape of your mind, you can stay where you are, resting, drowsy, unhurried. You are not being pulled suddenly into the noise of the day. You are being invited softly to remember that light returns, that life renews itself, that you, too, are allowed to begin again in this new, fragile, beautiful morning that is just starting to open its eyes. Morning does not only happen outside you, it happens inside you too. As the sky slowly brightens, as the darkness loosens its hold, there is a quiet sense that something in you has been refreshed. Even if you don't feel fully awake yet, you are not the same person who first lay down in the heavy weight of yesterday's thoughts. Somewhere in the depths of sleep, tiny shifts have taken place. Cells renewed, tensions softened, stories rearranged. There is a newness in you, as gentle as the new light. You don't have to feel dramatically different for this to be true. Newness is often subtle. It might be nothing more than the fact that your body is a little less tired, your mind a little less crowded, your heart a little less tight. Perhaps a problem that felt overwhelming last night now feels not solved, but a little farther away, a little less sharp. Perhaps you simply notice that you're able to breathe more easily. Let yourself acknowledge this quiet rebirth, not the kind that demands big changes or grand declarations, but the kind that simply says, I get to begin again. Your first breath of the morning, even if it's still half within sleep, is a small, living proof of that. Inhale, and you are receiving the day. Exhale, and you are letting go of just a bit more of what no longer needs to be carried. Now, gently, begin to feel the grounding. You are here, in this room, in this bed. The surface beneath you is steady, unwavering, patient. Your body has weight again, not as a burden, but as a sign that you belong to this earth, that you are connected to something solid and real. Feel the points where you meet the bed, the back of your head, your shoulders, your spine, your hips, your legs, your heels. Each point is an anchor, a reminder. I am here, I have a place. You don't need to move yet. Grounding can happen without motion. Simply notice the gentle pull of gravity, the way it draws you down, like an embrace from below. Notice the air on your skin, the temperature of the room, the softness of fabric against you. These simple sensations are threads tying you gently to the present moment, not to demands, not to expectations, just to now. Alongside the sense of grounding, there may still be traces of the night's stillness inside you. You can carry them forward, like a quiet flame sheltered in your hands. Remember the room of inner stillness, the weightless field, the infinite breath. They are not only for the night, they are part of you. As you slowly return to the world of names and tasks, you can keep a small corner of your awareness resting in that deeper calm. Rebirth does not mean becoming someone else. It means meeting yourself again, freshly. You wake up, whether fully now or gradually later, with the same history, the same life, the same responsibilities. But you also wake up with the chance to relate to them differently, with more gentleness, more patience, more trust in the quiet center you've been resting in. Let a soft peace settle over this realization. Peace doesn't have to mean that everything is perfect. It can mean this. In this moment, you are allowed to simply exist without proving anything, without improving anything. You are allowed to feel the newness in your chest, the grounding in your body, and to rest there for a little while longer before the day truly begins. Breathe into that peace. Inhale, a sense of quiet possibility. Exhale, a release of any rush, any pressure to be ready too quickly. You are returning with the dawn, but you are returning softly, carrying the night's stillness inside you like a hidden well. And as you move slowly into whatever this day will hold, that newness, that grounding, that peace can walk beside you, reminding you again and again that stillness is always there, the gentle ground of your life, no matter how many times you begin again. There is one truth I want to leave with you, like a soft shawl around your shoulders. You are held by the world. Even now, as you lie here, eyes closed or nearly closed, breath slow and quiet, there's so much gently supporting you. The bed beneath you carries your full weight, without complaint, without question. The building around you shelters you from wind and rain. The air fills your lungs again and again, offering you life with each unremarkable breath. You are more supported than you usually remember. During the day, it can feel as if you are the one holding everything together. Your work, your relationships, your responsibilities, your own emotions. It can feel lonely, as though if you stop pushing, if you stop trying, everything will fall apart. That is a heavy story to live inside. Tonight, you are invited to rest in a different story. Feel the simple, solid contact of your body with the bed. Notice how it shapes itself around you, rising to meet every curve. You do not need to brace yourself. You do not need to stay on. You can surrender your weight completely, and still, you will not fall. Let this be more than a physical sensation. Let it be a reminder. There are forces in your life that hold you even when you let go. Think of the earth beneath all of this, the ground, the layers of stone and soil, the silent strength that has carried oceans and forests and cities for longer than you can imagine. That same earth is holding you now, through the bed, through the floor, through everything that rests between you and the core of the planet. You are not floating alone in empty space. You are resting in the arms of a vast, steady world. You belong here. Not because you've earned it, not because you've done enough today, but because you are a living being, and this is a world that knows how to cradle life. The same forces that curve rivers through valleys and pull the tides back to shore are gently drawing you toward rest. Gravity itself is like a continuous, quiet embrace saying, "Stay. You are welcome. You are home." Let yourself feel, even just a little, that you are part of a larger family of resting things. Somewhere, right now, trees are standing in the dark, rooted and still. Animals are curled into small, safe shapes, eyes closed, hearts slow. Other people, perhaps not far from you, are lying down too, breathing their own private breaths, releasing their own private worries. You are one of many, woven into the same night, sharing the same sky. You are not outside of life, looking in. You are inside it, wrapped in it, carried by it. If your mind wants to argue, if it says, "But I feel alone, I feel separate, I feel like I don't belong," you don't have to contradict those feelings. You can simply let them be held too. Imagine the world's embrace widening to include even your doubt, even your loneliness, even your sense of not enoughness. All of it can rest here. Nothing about you disqualifies you from being gently, quietly held. As this episode, this long, soft journey, draws toward its end, let these words be a blessing over you. May you feel how supported you are. May you remember that you are not a mistake. May you know in your bones that you belong on this earth. Right now, you don't need to do, fix, or prove anything. You are allowed to be exactly as you are, tired or peaceful, restless or calm. While the world holds you, the night wraps itself around you like a soft cloak. The bed receives you. The earth supports you. And within all of that, stillness cradles your heart. You are held by the world. You are held by this moment. And you can rest. Beneath everything that moves in your life, there is something that does not move. Beneath every changing mood, every shifting plan, every rise and fall of circumstance, there is a quiet, steady ground that has been with you through every season, every version of yourself. You have touched it many times without naming it, in the pause after a deep sigh, in the stillness just before sleep, in those rare moments when you felt completely present for no particular reason. That ground is stillness. And it is home. Not home as a place you have to travel to or a state you have to earn, but home as something you return to by remembering what has always been here. Even now, as you lie in the dimness, with your breath moving and your thoughts perhaps growing softer. That stillness is beneath it all, patient, unchanging, quietly waiting. Think of all the movements in your day. Your body moves through rooms, through streets, through tasks. Your mind moves through ideas, worries, images, and memories. Your heart moves through hope, disappointment, joy, confusion, tenderness. Life is made of these motions and they matter. But if you look closely, you'll notice something else. Through all of these changes, there has always been a part of you that simply noticed. That noticing presence, spacious, silent, aware, is the ground beneath all things. You have never been without it. As a child, as a teenager, as the person you are now, it has been the quiet background of every moment. The scenery has changed. The witness has remained. Even when you felt lost, even when your mind was loud and your heart was heavy, stillness was there, underneath, holding the shape of your experience like the earth holds the shape of a forest through storms and seasons. Tonight, you are not being asked to create this stillness. You are being invited to relax back into it, the way you would sink into a familiar armchair after a long day. You don't have to sit perfectly. You don't have to say the right things. You simply let yourself be held. In the same way, you can let your awareness fall backward into that silent ground. No effort, no technique, just a gentle releasing into what is already here. Notice how it feels when you stop chasing thoughts for a moment. They may still move, but you don't follow. They drift across the surface of your mind like leaves on water, and beneath them, you can sense something still, like the deep, unmoving layer of the lake. That depth is your home. It is not disturbed by each passing leaf, each tiny ripple. It allows everything and remains itself. This home does not demand that you be calm to enter it. You can arrive anxious, tired, sad, uncertain. Stillness does not close its doors. It simply makes room for whatever you bring. When you rest in it, you're not pretending to be peaceful. You are letting peace be the larger space in which even your unrest can exist. Feel for a moment that you are resting not just on a bed, but on this deeper ground. Beneath mattress and floor and foundations, beneath soil and stone, beneath even the idea of down, there is a vast inner stillness that supports you. When everything feels like it might fall apart, this is what does not fall. When everything feels loud, this is what stays quiet. When you feel far from yourself, this is what welcomes you back without question. You belong here, not as a guest, but as someone returning to their own room after a long journey. This stillness is your original home, the place in you that has never been broken, never been unworthy, never been separate from the rest of life. You can leave it 1,000 times and come back 1,001, and it will always receive you the same way, with quiet, open arms. As you drift now, let this be your final blessing. Wherever you go, whatever changes, this ground remains. When you forget, it waits. When you remember, it opens. Stillness is the ground beneath all things, and it is always, always home. And so we arrive here at the quiet end of this long, soft journey together. Imagine that beneath these final words, there's a gentle sound, something like a single sustained note, very low, very soft. It lingers for a while, then slowly begins to fade. As it does, everything in you that has been listening, thinking, following along, is invited to fade too, into deeper and deeper rest. We have walked through many rooms of stillness tonight, We've visited the breath, the body, the quiet mind. We've wandered through inner landscapes, listened to the hum of night, explored the silence beneath silence and the center of all life. Each step was a way of turning towards something simple and profound. The fact that underneath everything, you're held by a quiet awareness that does not come and go. Now, sleep, awareness, and life gently meet. Sleep is not the opposite of awareness. It is one of the ways awareness rests in itself. Just as the ocean sometimes moves in waves and sometimes lies calm and smooth, awareness sometimes appears as clear wakefulness and sometimes as dreams, as deep, dreamless dark. Through it all, life continues to breathe in you, to breathe as you, without needing your constant supervision. As that imagined sound continues its slow fade to silence, feel the sense of completion settling over this night. Not because every question has been answered or every problem resolved, but because something in you has softened enough to allow this moment to be complete. As it is, you have given yourself the gift of turning inward, of resting in stillness, of remembering that you are more than the noise of your thoughts, more than the weight of your worries. Let warmth gather in your chest gently. It might be a feeling of gratitude or relief or just a soft, undefinable tenderness. You have carried yourself all the way here to this final, quiet place where nothing more is asked of you. The night is not demanding. It is simply offering its arms, its darkness, its timeless embrace, so you can sink in and be held. Notice how awareness itself is relaxing. You do not have to pay close attention anymore. The mind can drift. Words can blur. If images come, let them. If dreams begin to form at the edges of your consciousness, they are welcome. Awareness can loosen its focused gaze and become more like a gentle glow, dim, diffuse, surrounding you rather than directing you. The sound in your imagination is almost gone now. Just the faintest trace remains, like the last light on the horizon after sunset. Soon, even that will be absorbed into the silence. In the same way, these words will dissolve, and what will be left is not emptiness, but the living quiet of your own being, the stillness that has been here before every story, and will remain after every story has paused for the night. Completion has arrived. Warmth has settled. Closure is here. You do not need to hold on to anything I've said. You do not need to remember it in the morning. The important part has already happened. Your body has softened. Your mind has loosened. Your heart has been reminded, if only for a while, that there is a place of deep rest within you that no one can take away. So now, let everything fade. Let this night close gently around you. Let sleep come when it is ready, like a soft tide rising, like a curtain drawing itself slowly across the stage. You are safe. You are held. You are part of life, and life is resting in you. May you drift into that rest fully. May you be warmed by it, and may you sleep deeply and peacefully in the stillness that is always quietly your home.